Hi, I want to welcome you to this really special YouTube video all about me and my friends painting, and I am so excited to share their skills, their knowledge, their creativity, all of that great stuff. So I hope you enjoy this longer video today as we just paint together, create together, and please let me know in the comments what was your favorite? What do you want to learn more of? So go ahead and just sit back or grab a paintbrush or some coffee or watch it like we do Bob Ross, where we just watch and enjoy. And go ahead and subscribe if you want to, and I would love to see you again. So stay tuned and have fun.
Okay, today we are doing the Palm by the Sea. This is the daytime version. I wanted to do a series this month just to, re-emphasize how important it is to actually paint something more than once. The more you paint a subject, the more you get comfortable with a subject matter, the better you're going to be at painting it. So you guys know I love palms, but I don't have just a very simple palm painting. So that was what I wanted to do. These are done on 4-inch by 12-inch panels. You could definitely make this into a larger painting, but I just love putting little pops of color throughout my house with shelf sitters, and that's why I love these mini canvases too. So today we're going to do the daytime version, and then next week you will be learning the nighttime version. And I'm also doing the palms a little bit different in each one. Again, there's not just one type of palm tree. There's several different versions. There's several different styles. And so I take my ideas and my inspiration from all of the places that we travel and all the different palm trees that I see and take pictures of. So that is going to be what we're doing today, 4 by 12. Let me go over the colors really quickly. From the essential set, we're going to use the Perfect Perry and the Purple Iris. And then I decided to use thick-bodied acrylics for this one. You absolutely do not have to. You can still use your craft acrylics, but I was just in the mood to use some thicker ones. So I'm using the titanium white. I'm using burnt umber, fluorescent pink, brilliant blue. Those are all Liquitex basics, and bright aqua green, one of my favorite ones. And then from Master's Touch, this is turquoise green and light olive green. Again, the color swatches will be provided for you on your color list, so no need to go out and get that brand. You can find similar colors in whatever brand that you have. And then I was playing around with some paint pens, so I have those over here as well. This will obviously be done at the end. I used a little bit of white and the teal, and that's the medium point. And then my super skinny ones, these are the Art Owl ones. They're extra fine point. I've just got these two different shades of pink that I used for just a little bit of very minor detailing in the tree trunks. So again, optional. You do not have to use those. Really just allow yourself to explore and play with this. This is a fun subject matter. It's a vibrant one. There's really no right or wrong to doing this. So we're going to start with our background. I'm going to be using the 11 from my set. This is a filbert. You can use any kind of brush that you want to. This is just what I chose. So for my sky, I'm using some of the brilliant blue and some of the white and just getting just a really pretty blue. And then I'm also pulling in some of that white and Perfect Perry together and just kind of getting a mixture of these blues. Don't stress too much about this and what it looks like. We want this to be loose and quick style. So you're just going to see me continuing to go back, dip into more paint, make quick brush strokes. I'm kind of doing the loose background where I do some horizontal brush strokes and I come back and do some vertical, lay them over top of each other. So I'm not blending completely. I want there to be that variation. If you haven't done a sky like this before. Another painting, actually two paintings that I used this in, was also from the coastal series of the lighthouse and the sailboats. So it's a very similar style to that background. I just love these blues together. And again, most of this is going to be covered up. So we're just trying to get that coverage down on here. I'm not going to worry about painting the sides right now. I'm just going to give myself a little horizon line here. You can continue the colors that you have on the front and just wrap it around the side the way that I did on the original. Of course, I didn't continue the brush strokes of the palm trees. Totally up to you how you want to do that. What I was actually thinking on the two that I'm doing again with you guys is possibly doing like a fun whimsical design on the side of them. Since they are going to go on a shelf, you'll see the sides. And I kind of like to do some fun things whenever you do see the sides of the canvas. Just another way to decorate it and play with it. So that's going to be what our sky looks like for now. I'll probably come back and add some smaller brush strokes in there, but this gives me a good starting point. And I really do want you to be fast with this. I don't want you to overthink this. You just need to make sure that the canvas is covered. Then we're going to jump down here to the bottom. I am not going to rinse. I'm just going to grab some teal. That's that bright aqua green. And get some of that on there, some white. It doesn't matter if the blues are mixed in with it. All those colors can blend together. But this particular palm is inspired by our trip to Jamaica the last 2 years. We went back-to-back anniversaries because we loved it so much. And I've just never seen such teal blue, gorgeous waters as I had in Jamaica. So that's kind of what this is inspired by. So I'm going a little bit darker towards the back. I may even pick up a little bit of dark purple. That's the purple iris with that blue. Even just pull a little bit darker towards that horizon line. And again, this doesn't have to be anything exact right now. I came back and edited the sky and the foreground even after I did the palms. So I'm just going to kind of continue this down. Just wipe off some of that excess. Grab a little bit more white and teal. Now I'm going to be covering this with more of a sand color at the bottom, but for right now, I'm just getting some of those lighter colors mixed in there. And you can decide how thick you want to leave this. So in the finished one, you can see some texture down here and in the sky. So you can decide how much you want to blend in. I'll be coming back and even adding a little bit more to this. And then I've got my my burnt umber up here. Again, I am not going to rinse. I'm just I have a bunch of blues and I have some teal greens in my paintbrush, and I'm just going to mix that with the burnt umber and make myself a pretty little sand-like color here. Maybe pull some of this pink into it a little bit. Kind of warm up that brown. We'll see if we like this. It's a nice little sand color there. You could go a little bit darker towards the bottom if you wanted. All right, so that is the beginning. Let's take a little bit more. I'm going to get a little bit more brown. A little touch of white with that. Again, I'm just kind of quickly laying it down. I'm not pushing it into the canvas a lot. I want there to be a little bit of texture. And if you really want there to be more, you can even add modeling paste or gel medium to it if you desire. And then I'm going to pick up some white on the tip, and I'm not going to push down hard, and I'm just real lightly going to kind of drag. See how light I'm holding this? I'm just going to lightly drag it where that wave is crashing into the shore. Maybe add a couple more out here. And it's okay for there to be a little bit of that brown kind of added in where your ocean and your shoreline meet, because that's what it would look like in real life as well. You'd see a little bit of brown with the teal. Okay, so that was all done with the filbert. So I'm going to leave that in my water, and then I am going to switch to, this is the number 8 out of my set, and it's just a flat, a skinny flat, and I'm going to go in with a burnt umber. And of course I don't ever like to do anything just a regular color. I'm going to take some purple with that, so we're going to make like a purpley dark brown here. Now your palm tree can be whatever shape you want to. Look at pictures for inspiration if you're not sure. I like to start from the top and go down, because I know that this is going to be my starting point for the palms and how they're going to kind of explode on the canvas. So again, I purposely didn't make that the absolute middle of the canvas. I wanted it to be off-centered a little bit. It makes it more interesting composition-wise. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it. We'll say about right here is my center of where those palms come out. And then I'm just going to pull my line down, and I want mine to have a little bit of a curve. I'm not worried about that pulling through the wet paint. All of that's just going to add to the painting. We're going to get a little bit wider towards the bottom, skinnier towards the top. So this one has a little bit more curve to it. Totally fine. Again, there's no right or wrong to that. So we're going to stick with a little bit more of this. I'm just lightly adding in some more color here. Let's get a little more purple on there. Again, be mindful that you are getting skinnier as you go up. So I did lots of layers of color in both the trunk and the palm. So you're going to kind of see a lot of building in this. Now I'm going to switch to our palms. I'm going to use the number 2, which is like a long liner brush out of the set. And my base colors for my palms, you probably can't tell that from looking at it, but it's actually this dark green, this turquoise green here. I love this color. You don't see a lot of it, but you see a little bit kind of peeking through. So I always kind of start with my first couple kind of going down. And think of this as like a firework. They're all, your palms are all starting from the same point. So we're just going to start with some lines first, and then we'll add our extra palm leaves to that. Okay, so kind of like a firework. Now I'm going to go in with my purple. That purple and green together just make a really pretty dark color. And I want to, again, put my shadows down first, so these brighter colors contrast against it. So this kind of created like a navy looking color. Now what I'm doing right now is I've got these curved lines that I started with. I'm kind of going against those and doing quick pulls down to kind of create the look of palms. So I highly recommend practicing this if you haven't done palms before. So get your mixed media pad, scrap paper, give yourself these lines. And again, I'm pulling from those lines. Quick curved motions, okay? And when you're looking at this up close, that's not all, like you see the pixelation, you see like the canvas showing through, that's totally fine. Again, this is just a base layer. We're kind of getting our shape down here. And towards the center, it's going to be thicker where it's more condensed. There's a lot of palms overlapping and on top of each other. So from here, I kind of started that way. Now you can still come back and pull some kind of angled. When they're going straight up, I change the way I do it all the time, but you can do it from just one side, just have palms kind of leaning one way if you want, or you can have them go both ways. Again, I'm using that line as a guide still. To pull that palm out. I'm going to try really hard to leave this little bit of sky. I always overdo it and fill it in. So I'm going to really try hard to leave that, leave a little bit more blue behind compared to my original. So same thing here. I'm kind of coming along one side. It's already looking pretty, just like it is without all the extra colors. And this is purple and green is what we're using right now. Who would have thought, huh? All right. So I am quite liking the way this is looking. I'm going to go ahead and leave that. And then while I'm waiting on that to dry, I'm just going to grab some of this pink. Now this was just for fun. I'm kind of using like the neon as like my highlights just because I want to. Because I like pink, because I like the neon, just like the way it looks. So I just decided to make it a fun, vibrant painting and use that as my highlight. I think it adds a little bit of interest and surprise to it. Now I'm going to take some of this light olive green, a little bit of white with it. Let's add just a touch of green down here next to our pink. And then this will be the light olive green and that bright aqua green are going to be the next colors we start adding in up here. So I'm just going to start layering in. You do not have to let this dry in between layers. Just be mindful that you still have wet paint underneath. So again, I'm not pressing down super hard when I'm doing this because I don't want it to just become a jumbled mess. So quick, light movements. Again, I'm holding this very loosely. You can always come back in and add more. So think of this as just a building process with your palms. Maybe a little bit more white up here. I really love the white and this light olive green added together. It almost looks yellow. Now in this one, I'm not super worried about like where is my light source coming from and all the highlights have to be in a certain area. I'm just making sure that I have a balance between lights and darks so that it keeps it interesting. Maybe go a little, so you have variations of your greens. You don't want just one color. Variety is your friend. Now, if you press down harder, you're going to get bigger strokes. Again, there's no right or wrong. These are not all dainty little lines. Some of them are thicker than others. So we've still got kind of a nice balance here. We don't have all of our dark covered up, but we're starting to add in some of these brighter elements to the palm. I really like this dark area that I have in the middle, so I want to leave that there. Okay, so you don't actually need to rinse. I just did that out of habit. But I'm going to come in with this aqua green now. And adding it in more of like an accent color. So you see I'm not going over top of my greens, but kind of going a little bit on top, a little bit around, just here and there. Try not to do too much. Again, why did I choose this color? Simply because I love it. I love the bright aqua green. I love the hot pink. And I love them together in tropical paintings. I'm going to drag a little bit of this hot pink back across this horizon line. Maybe it's just the very touch of an idea of a sunset happening soon. But it doesn't have to really even have a reason. Okay, so I am going to let this dry a little bit before I add more colors to it, because if I add pink in here right now and it mixes with the green, we may not get colors that we're absolutely in love with. So I'm going to leave that hot pink. But if you look at this sky versus this one, you can see a little bit of a difference there. So I'm going to make some smaller brush strokes over here in my sky. And I'm going in with that small flat, the number 8 that I had earlier. Just think of this as some extra little clouds, even though they don't have to physically look exactly like clouds. Kind of the idea of some clouds floating by on top of the sea out here. I just added a little bit at the top. You don't have to if you don't want to. So I'm going to go a little bit, get my brilliant blue and a little bit of that perfect Perry. We're just kind of adding another little layer of interest, some different smaller brush strokes in there. This is something easily changeable if you don't like it, and this is a good point in the painting to do it, because we're still going to be adding more palm branches coming out over top of this. I'm going to lighten this up a little. Okay, I think I'm liking the way that looks. So I'm going to come in with my brown, kind of go over the top of the tree trunk here. I'm focusing more with the straight brown on the left side of the palm trunk. I'm going to lighten that up just a little. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of white and throw it in. And I'm going to start adding these little horizontal pulls from here to start adding some texture into our palm. Don't worry about your lines being perfectly straight or even with this palm either, because if you've been around many palm trees, you know they're not perfectly smooth and even. They have a rough texture to them. And then I'm going to go right in with pink, and I kind of went along the edge. Again, I'm kind of using pink as my highlight. And you don't have to go solid line across the edge, but you see how I'm just kind of lightly adding some of that fun pink color in there as a highlight. And then same thing, I'm just going to kind of take that and pull it in to give us some of those horizontal ridges in the palm. Now on the other side, I'm going to take my purple, little bit of blues here. So I'm kind of making a purpley blue to be my dark value, my darker color over here. Oh, that's a little too blue. I want more purple than that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish with this a little bit, but come back over and put some more purple on top of that. Might be hard for you to see here with the lighting, but this is kind of what it looks like right now. But I want more purple. Same thing, just kind of coming in and laying these like horizontal lines in. Don't worry about perfect spacing or any of that. We don't want, again, we want this to be loose. And then I'm going to pull just a little bit of that purple down here at the bottom, just for some fun little shadows down here, maybe a little bit of that green. Let's go in with our white, add some more small little waves crashing up here. So again, I'm plenty of paint, but very light-handed with this. Just kind of dragging it across. You can add as little or as much as you want to. Okay, so let's jump back up to the top here. And we are going to be almost done. So my goal for these summer sessions is to really make them fun, fast, and easy for you, so you don't feel like to stay creative this summer you have to do these big, massive projects. We're all so busy. I wanted to give you some fun projects that are fast and easy and still keep you being creative without a huge time investment. Okay, so now to start adding some of our hot pink up here. Now you could use the number 2, that's that long liner brush. I'm going to go ahead and stick with my flat and my neon pink. I like the bolder strokes that this creates. It just depends on how fine you want your palm fronds to be. And again, I don't want to get too crazy with the hot pink. It's more of an accent. but I want to spread it around so that it's on all sections of that palm. Same motion whether you're using this brush or the skinny brush. Still these quick pulls, not pressing down super hard. All right, so I'm liking that. Now I'm going to go back to my 2. And you can see how much lighter this is than this. So I'm going to take a lot of my white, a little bit of my green to make that super pale color, and start bringing in some of these highlights and contrast. That really bright contrast helps the palms just kind of come off the canvas and really stand out a lot more. Now I'm going to go in with just a little bit of purple. I kind of like the look of pulling a little bit of darker ones, kind of peeking underneath here, creating a little bit more of a shadow, even some of this dark green again. I told you I wouldn't be able to leave that sky alone. I tried. There's still a little bit of blue peeking through there, but that's okay. I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. Now there's 2 options you can do here. Over here, once this was dry, I scribbled in some white paint pen, and like I said, the teal, like you can come in. This is a really easy way to add like accent palms. Just pull some, let me get this primed a little bit more. Pull some quick little lines down or up, wherever you want them. And then you can do the same thing with the white. The other place I used is you can either go along your edge with more like a skinny brush, and Alexa, skip song. I don't need to listen to the trumpet right now. Or you can go in with a skinny brush and do this, or once it's dry, you can come in with a paint pen and just kind of add some more of these skinny little lines in there. I don't think I'm going to do it on this one today. Don't forget to initial the bottom. What I did, I'm going to actually add a little bit more wet paint down here just so I can scratch through it. And I'm just going to do my initials down here. So I like using this little guy, these little pointer tools that you can use for like when you're transferring a template, you can use them for putting little dots in. But I like using them in this scenario. Now you could also even use these in your wet paint to add some lines and texture in there. Actually, I think I like that better. So I'm going to hold that up so you can see those cool lines that creates. I like that better than this. So we're going to skip the paint pens in this one. Could probably even do the same thing up top. Now, if you did what I did and you really wished you would have left more blue sky, you can fix this. I'm not going to because I'm fine with what this looks like, but I could paint more blue over that section and then just simply pull a lesser amount of palms back over top of it again. So super simple palm by the sea painting. I hope you guys have fun with this. One of the other ideas I had for this for you guys is if you wanted, this is just a great design that you could turn into a beach towel. It would just look good on lots of different kind of fun products and stuff. And I used Printful to design my beach towels. So I'm not going to go into that in a training, but if you've ever wanted to do your own custom designs on things, Printful is a great company. So I'm just coming back in with just a little scribble here and there of white lines. You could do black too if you wanted. Where's my black? If you wanted to go along the side here for even more contrast, add a little bit even darker edge. You could do that with the black. You could come in and add just a couple. Don't get crazy with it, but you could come in and add a couple little black lines here. Again, it creates a little bit of shadow, a little bit of contrast, if you want to add that in to your palms. So I hope you guys have fun with this, and I look forward to seeing them, and we will be doing the night version next week.
All right, welcome to a quick little break if you need to pause here, but wait, before you pause and go to the restroom or get more coffee or wine, whatever, I want to tell you about 100K Creative. So if you are a person who is wanting to know more about the online business of art. So for example, if you want to know how to grow a YouTube or things like that, then I want you to follow me on 100K Creative on Instagram so that you can hear all the behind the scenes of what it takes to actually build something online. All right, back to our original programming.
Hey guys, it's Tamara Bennett from Southern Adornments Decor. Today we're going to be painting a beach bag door hanger. With warmer weather on the way and spring coming up, this design was just calling to me, especially because it's going to allow me to incorporate some of my cute ribbon without having to make a bow, which you guys know I hate making bows. So I found this super cute pink and white polka dot ribbon. It's about 2 inches wide or an inch and a half. See, I know I'm terrible at measurements. And we'll be able to feed it through these holes and tie a knot on the other side to make this the strap to the beach bag. So we're going to get started painting this. If you would like the template or wood blank to this project, you can find it at shopdoorhangers.com. Use the search bar and type in beach bag. It's also got a pair of glasses, a little Stanley cup sticking out the top, some sunscreen, and a beach towel. So drop me a comment if you've found me live. I'm also going to be talking a little bit about my Highland Cow workshop that's coming up April 15th and 17th. I would love to have you guys join me. It's only $10 to sign up. I'll be giving you the template to both of these projects. It's the Bandana Lola on the front and Lola the Patriot on the back. You'll get the supply lists as well. And we're going to be teaching Bandana Lola inside the private Facebook group April 15th and 17th. Now, there is a kit that you can buy if you want to get the 3D lettering and all the things. And there is a paint pack available at decoart.com if you want to make things super simple on you when it comes to finding supplies and all that. But if you want to do this the most affordable way, I will say just sign up for $10, download the template, cut out your own wood blank, or just grab a wood blank that you have handy and paint along with us with whatever paints you already have. No need to use the exact colors that I'm using. Eunice says, I love the red, white, and moo, which is the patriotic side. Thank you. Hello, Tammy. Hello, Barbara. Lola's hanging up behind me here. Do you want to see the patriotic side of Lola before we begin? So the back side has Lola the Patriot on it. How cute is she with her sassy little sunglasses, her red lipstick, and bow in her hair? There's a little bit of glitter on this door hanger as well. And then the front side is what we're actually going to be doing in the workshop teaching. Now, if you want to learn how to paint this side, we will be doing that inside the Painters Clubhouse, April 28th. So if you enjoy this spring workshop and decide to join our membership, you will be able to watch the tutorial for the other side as well. Now, if you want to bypass paying the $10 and just jump right into joining the Painters Clubhouse, we do have the doors open right now for our early bird promotions. So you can sign up right now for the Painters Clubhouse and get free access to this workshop and all the fun things that we have going on in the clubhouse. You'll get access to the entire library with all of our past designs and tutorials. Many of them are right here behind me. And you'll have access to our amazing Facebook community. Hey, Barb. Hello, Wanda. There they are. Hello, Linda and Pam. You love Lola's lipstick, Tammy. Thank you. Lauren said, I'm so excited to see this beach bag. She actually designed this one, and I just thought it was all too clever that she left holes in the middle for our ribbon. So we're going to start off by giving this bottom area a coat of light mocha. Instead of black and white, I'm going to go with like a soft tan and white down at the bottom. And so the light mocha is going to be our soft tan color. And I'm going to grab a large flat tip brush. This is from my signature brush collection that we sell in our shop. So if you've got this one at home, just grab this same brush and paint along with me. Let's spritz the project a little bit. That MDF is so dry, it sometimes doesn't want to allow the paint to spread. And then after we get this on here, we can do some stripes on our beach bag. Hey, Elizabeth. Hello, Laurel. Tammy says, that's a winner chicken dinner just to join. I think so too. Did you guys see my post yesterday? The if I was an American Girl doll post. I first designed it for TikTok, and then I was like, I think my ladies on Facebook will love this too. I never actually had an American Girl doll growing up, but if I did, that's the one that I would want. I wanted an American Girl doll. My best friend down the road had an American Girl doll, but I'm sure my parents were like, that is way too expensive for a doll. So I never actually had an American Girl doll. But if I were to buy one now as an adult, it would probably be that one, because she's just me. She has chickens. She loves to paint. She's got short, cute little blonde hair and earrings, and I want those pants she was wearing too. They had like flowers and chickens painted on them, or maybe like embroidered on them. I don't know. They were so cute. I'm like, I really need to like just make myself a pair of jeans that actually look like this. Okay. As you notice, instead of like putting more paint on the door hanger, I'm like picking up some of that paint that was real thick right here in the middle and just kind of spreading it further over. So feel free to do that. Spritz the door hanger with a little water if it's not going anywhere. If you don't have enough paint on your project, just add a little more. You definitely want to get it as like smooth and even as possible. That way you don't have to do a second coat. And we might not have to do a second coat. We might not be able to tell until this paint dries. So in the meantime, I'm just smoothing it out anywhere that it looks uneven in the hopes that I won't have to do a second coat. How is everybody this Tuesday? If you comment alert, it's going to send you a notification letting you know that you can get notifications when I go live. So I did send out a notification before I went live just now. Pam says they need to make a Tamara American Girl doll. I would love it. Nicole says, getting to catch you live for the first time in a while. Home with the flu, Nicole. That sounds terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm also going to do... Hang on, I'm trying to decide how well this fresh mango color is going to cover. Oh, remember we tested it out here. Remember doing this a few weeks ago? So on top of like a tan color, it doesn't cover very well. So I think I need to put down a coat of white first. This is going to be the color of our beach towel. So let's jump up here and do a coat of white on both the towel and the bottle of sunscreen, because the sunscreen is going to be white anyway. Lauren's on spring break. Oh, how nice. Yes, it is a beach bag, Amy. Connie says one of my grandkids has an American Girl doll, and she is the grand who takes care of things. The rest of the 5 have the knockoff. Connie, I probably would have had the knockoff too. I'm a lot like Charlie. I mean, my room when I was a kid was total chaos, and it drives me bananas now. And I'm like, I'm paying for my raising, because my mom was always like, clean your room. But as an artsy kid, I didn't have time to clean my room. I was busy making things and playing and outside. Hey, Brenda, how are you? Mary said, you mentioned how you get acrylic paint closed. Help, I got messy last night. Oh, from clothing. Oh, if you do get acrylic paint on your clothes, use a hand sanitizer or rubbing alcohol. Both of them usually have alcohol in them. And I usually use just straight rubbing alcohol from the bottle with a toothbrush. And I'll like scrub at the spot with like a paper towel underneath the fabric. And that usually helps quite a bit to get most of it out. It doesn't usually get 100% of it out, but it'll get it most of it. And then usually I'll put like a stain remover on it and throw it directly in the wash. Hey, Amy, glad you're catching me during lunch. Hello, Christina. Hello, Cindy. Who's watching over here on TikTok? I'm live on TikTok as well. We're live in 3 places, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Okay, I thinned this paint out so you can see the MDF through it pretty good. So we'll probably do another coat here in a second, but we'll dry it real fast. Otherwise, the second coat won't stick to the first. Lauren said Emma's room is always a mess and the kitchen table is always covered in crafts. Yeah, and I can spend a whole day helping Charlie clean and organize, and it'll feel so good when we're done. 1 week later, you won't even be able to tell I was in there. It's nuts. She is not a very organized child. So I'm hoping that as she grows and develops, that will be something that she becomes more skilled at. But she does have ADHD like her older brother. And so I don't know if that's something she'll develop or not. We'll see. Maybe it's a skill she can be taught. Just like painting, we aren't necessarily born with this ability to be able to do this, but we can learn it. So organization is probably a skill she can learn. Dixie says I'm vicariously painting during lunch. So you're vicariously painting through me? You can paint along with me on the replay. Angel says I've been working on some pieces from my Whatnot order. Oh, fun. I'm dying to do another Whatnot sale already. It's kind of addicting. Elizabeth says you're using that ribbon so Sarah and I won't come and go through all your ribbon to add to our collection. I actually almost panicked when I got ready to do this door hanger because if you remember, I cleaned out my I'm still here. I'm still here. What happened? It dropped the live stream. Are you guys still here? That was weird. It was like it glitched out and dropped me. Thankfully, y'all didn't miss nothing because I was just sitting here drying the project. But what was I saying? I was saying, oh, that I'd cleaned out my ribbon for the Whatnot sale back in January. And I panicked when I got ready to have to pick out ribbon for this. And I was like, oh no, did I get rid of all the cute ribbon? And then I was like, oh no, I do have this one. It's pink with white polka dots. And the sunglasses that I'm going to do on this are almost this exact color of pink. So it was like it was meant to be that I kept this one cute little ribbon. Yeah, it was weird. It glitched out, but I'm back. Sheila says I can hardly walk into my craft room, so I've moved to my dining room table. Sheila, you're like all of us. Our craft room becomes too crowded and then we have to craft elsewhere. Don't let your craft room become a storage unit. Go clean it up so you can get back in there and paint. You thought I tripped a circuit breaker. No, not what happened. Okay, this looks pretty good. There's a couple of little splotchy places, but honestly, we're fixing to put polka dots across the, or not polka dots, stripes across the thing. So I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. And because this is kind of curved, I'm kind of like, I don't think I want to do painter's tape for stripes because I don't want them to look not curved with the bag. So I'm going to actually get out, and these stripes are not lasered on this door hanger. So I'm actually, and the reason they're not is so that you could do whatever pattern you want down here, right? So I'm actually going to use a piece of chalk, turn my project sideways because it's much easier for me to draw stripes coming toward my body. And I'm going to kind of just start drawing some like thick stripes. And I'm going to use the same method that I use when I'm painting stripes, is leaning back. And I'm intentionally kind of curving it with the bag. So I'm going to space down a little bit, make another stripe. And the great thing about chalk is if it comes out all wonky, you can erase it easily and redo it. Don't laugh at me rocking back and forth in my chair. Or do. I don't care. Okay, there's our stripes drawn on with chalk. I can't really see this one very well. I mean, it doesn't matter too much. I can see like the indentation the chalk made, but I think the paint must have been a little damp down there because the chalk didn't really chalk. Okay. Is there a tape that can be curved? Oh, I don't think so, Carrie. If there is, I have never heard of it. Hello, Caddy. Good afternoon. Hello, Jackie and Trudy. Tammy says, I love making bows. Come hang out with me, Tammy. You can make all the bows for all my door hangers. Okay, we're going to use black, and we're going to do black and tan stripes. We already have the tan down, so we just got to add the black. Let me look at my photo real quick. I don't know if it matters if the top, okay, the top stripe is black. Oh, on the example, it does look like straight stripes. So if you're more comfortable with tape stripes, you totally can do that. I'm going to keep mine curved since I've already gone to the trouble. So I'm just going to start painting this top section black. And like I said, if you want to use painter's tape, you can, and you can just do straight stripes all the way across with your frog tape. I'm just going to, actually, I'm going to rotate this because practice what you preach. I always tell you guys it's easier to make stripes and straight lines if you will rotate the door hanger and pull the brush towards your body. And it's easier if you kind of like lean back in your chair. Use your abdomen for stability. So if you have a shaky hand, it'll make it easier to make those lines smooth. Okay, I'm going to be careful to paint around these sunglass frames because the sunglass frames are going to be bright, bright pink, and bright, bright pink does not work on top of black. So I'm going to be very careful to kind of just paint around those. Now the insides of those frames are going to be black. So that's okay if you paint the inside part black. I get quiet when I concentrate. Michael's supposed to be here reading comments. He must have lost track of time because he didn't show up. As for the chalk line, I'm kind of placing my brush halfway on the chalk line and halfway off. So I'm kind of painting right in the middle of it, if you will. I'm going to pause in just a moment and answer questions. So if y'all have comments or questions, I will pause and read them. Just let me finish this stripe. My trusted helper isn't here to read them for me. He's probably back there playing with the new laser machine. It's been a minute since I had to paint a stripe by hand without using painter's tape. I've spoiled myself. This is a little more challenging than painter's tape. Okay, questions. Oh, y'all been real chatty. I love that you guys chat with each other in the comments. Christy said, I ordered that one to make for my friends with the pool, but it doesn't have holes for the strap. Do you know what size drill bit to use? I would actually, these holes are a little bigger than what you need. I would almost go with like a 1/2 inch, depending on the thickness of your ribbon. Christy, I think we may have shipped out a few of these that didn't have the holes cut out, because when I told the guys to have this one cut out this past week, the holes weren't cut out. And I was like, hold up, I need holes. So they had to go back and add them after the fact. And I was like, I wonder how many of these we've shipped without the holes cut out. So my apologies if that happened to you. Just grab a drill with a drill bit and use like the biggest drill bit you got. It's probably like a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch, and just drill them through. MDF's real easy to drill through. Does he have the new machine? Yeah, Jackie, go back and watch the Facebook Live that we did on Friday. We went live inside the shop and showed it laser etching on some canvas. So that was kind of cool. Glenda, you can order this beach bag blank by going to shopdoorhangers.com and use the search bar and type in beach bag. It'll be right there. How does the new razor compare to the Thunder laser? It seems faster and more smoother. And it's bigger, of course. We are selling our Thunder laser, like our Nova 24. So if any of you guys are interested in that, send me a private message, like on Instagram or something, so that I can send you the information about it. I haven't listed it anywhere publicly yet online, but I plan to. So if anybody's interested in my Nova 24, it does come with the wooden cart that it sits on that Michael made. And so we will be selling that one. All right, I'm cleaning up my lines real quick, touching up any spots where the black didn't get covered good. And then I'm going to start painting my other stripes. In hindsight, I probably should have started at the bottom because I'm right-handed. It's okay. We're just going to shift this over. And I'll do this. I'm going to hold my brush up on its tippy toes this time, since I don't have anything to paint around, and drag my hand back. These stripes are not going to be perfect, but this bag is probably made of like some kind of fabric in real life. And the stripes would be kind of bumpy anyway, because the bag is made of fabric and it doesn't sit up straight perfectly. So I'm not going to worry about it. Whoops. That was real bumpy. Jackie says, I bought this little beach bag for my candlestick and home door hanger. Oh, that's going to make such a cute attachment. Elizabeth said, I wouldn't go bigger than a 1/2 inch. If you have a paddle bit, I'd go smaller. See, I didn't even know that there was such a thing called a paddle bit. I mean, I know what you're talking about. I know what they look like, but I didn't know that was the name for them. Interesting. Whoop, that was still wet, and I almost drug my hand right through it. Painting around our sunglasses. How many of you guys are excited about our spring Highland Cow workshop that's coming up? We've already had several of you guys sign up. We've already shipped out several of the kits for it as well. So if you haven't signed up, you can do so by clicking the link up in the video description. I think you maybe, if somebody wants to test this, I think you can also comment workshop and it will private message you the link to sign up for workshop. I think we have that set up. Painting around my sunglasses. Whoops, I accidentally got a little bit on the frame there. Now I'm just going to go back and fill in the middles. Barbara says, I'm so excited. I love the floral welcome we just did. Yeah, so we had so many people here. Oh, thank y'all for all commenting. Me. We had so much fun during our free paint party this past Saturday night. It was on Facebook and YouTube. The replay is still available if you missed it, and you can still grab the free template. I think in order to grab that one, you just have to comment party or something like that, and it will DM you. But anyway, it's pinned at the top of my Facebook page, and we had a little over 400 people painting live with us. It was so fun. And several of them have already signed up for the Painters Clubhouse. So that's super fun. So if you haven't heard, during this period right now, before our spring workshop, is our early bird sign up period. So if you've been thinking about joining the Painters Clubhouse, you can go ahead and sign up now, and you'll get all of our really great bonuses, to include our early bird bonus, which is access to that wood letter workshop that we did a few years ago. Let me dry this so I don't get my hand in anything else. Paula says she's still working on it. That's okay. Christie's on YouTube said, how would you cut a board like that? Would you use a jigsaw? You can use a jigsaw. If you're in the comments, drop a comment. What's your preferred method of cutting out door hangers? Some of you use jigsaws, scroll saws. A few maybe use band saws or routers. And some of you have laser machines. This one was cut with a laser machine. So if you end up buying one of our wood blanks from our shop, it will be laser cut and it'll have the design lasered on it. So that's how I knew where to paint around these sunglasses, is because I can see the laser etched lines for the sunglasses. Janet says jigsaw. Oh, Brenda, I'll tell my mama you asked about her. She's doing great. She's down in Florida playing tennis, living her best retired life. She's actually coming home this Friday, though, to Kentucky for the summer. And then she'll go back to Florida in the fall when it starts to get cold again. She's going to come back just in time for all this pollen to set off her allergies, because my head is like, I feel like I'm slightly under the weather today. And I was wondering what was wrong with me until I walked outside yesterday and looked over at my pool. And on the edge of the pool, near the liner, is like this yellowy like film. And I was like, ooh, no wonder my allergies are going crazy. All the pollen in the air has literally made like a ring around the edge of my pool. It's so gross. Yvonne uses a scroll saw. Barb says I use a jigsaw for round, scroll saw for other things that are more intricate. Sheila says my preferred method is ordering blanks from you. Hey, Lisa. Missy's excited about Bandana Lola. She said her original Lola was her first time painting, and she joined the clubhouse. Oh, that was 2 years ago, Missy. I'm honored you've been with me that long. Elizabeth said I had a 12-year-old painting with me on Saturday night during the live, and when Charlie walked in, I wish I could have pulled her through the screen so she could help her. Oh, she is a snowbird, Dixie. My burgundy Yukon looks radioactive. Oh, because of all the yellow pollen. Yeah, the allergies are horrible right now. Like, I woke up this morning and I could just feel it. I'm like, ugh, I hate this. Love Kentucky, but I hate the pollen. But I guess that there's pollen almost everywhere, unless you live in like a desert maybe, and then you're not dealing with pollen, you're dealing with dust. So it's just part of it. Okay, that line looks good. Now I got to do this one. I was starting to run out of paint there at the end of the line, but sometimes it's better to just keep going so that you've got the basic shape and then come back and touch it up. So I could have gone with something super colorful down here at the bottom instead of black and like this tan color. Y'all know me. I don't usually do black and white or black and tan, but I wanted the ribbon to really pop. So with this really neutral black and tan color, the pink ribbon that we put on this is really going to stand out. It's going to be so cute. I can't wait to hang this one up outside by my pool area. Okay, my stripes are not perfect. Let me just say that. So don't feel like your stripes have to be perfect. It's definitely a little wider in some place than others. Oh, I need to touch up this one little area over here. Not because I'm a perfectionist or anything, but because I can tell that like it's supposed to kind of go up underneath this sunglasses right here. There we go. That looks a little better. Oh, thank you, Connie. Pollen's terrible in Texas too. Oh, thank y'all for the likes over on TikTok. Y'all are so sweet. But Renee says it's bad in South Carolina. So it's bad everywhere. Jackie says the pollen is the worst ever in Kentucky. It seems too early. What does that mean for us? I don't know. Let's paint our beach towel, fresh mango. If you remembered a moment ago, we had to undercoat it with white because this fresh mango is nice and bright, but it would have been dull on top of the MDF color. So we primed it with some white. I'm going to pick out a bigger brush here than what I was just using. I'm going to use this one. It's like almost 1 inch wide. Dip it in a little water, then pick up our fresh mango, and we're going to start painting this beach towel. And the beach towel, I think, is going to have some darker orange polka dots. That way it's got a little bit of a pattern going on. Our Stanley cup over here, swig cup, whatever you want to call it, is going to be Bahama blue, and it's going to have leopard print. So if you don't know how to paint leopard print, stick around. We'll be doing that in a moment. Did anybody test out commenting workshop? Did it DM you anything? I like how that flat tip brush gets right there in that little right angle corner. All you got to do is like flip your brush to go the other direction and boom, it's done. This fresh mango color is so pretty. It's nice and bright, especially on top of white. Makes me glad that I did the swatch test on this color the other day. If you missed that, it was a few Tuesdays ago. It's probably still here on Facebook, and it is definitely over on my YouTube channel. But we were swatching the new 2025 Deco Art Americana colors, and this fresh mango color is one of them. Janet said, I found some daisy ribbon at Costco. Oh, I bet that is so cute. I don't have a Costco around here. We have Sam's Club, but no Costco's. Paula said, I've started recording my Deco Art colors on the template. Sounds so simple, but I just about stressed out last night. Don't stress out. It's supposed to be relaxing. Look at the coverage on that. Like, I'm impressed. That is one coat of fresh mango on top of white. It is going to need another coat just because it's a little splotchy in places, but that's pretty impressive for orange over white. Do y'all have any questions about door hanger painting or our spring workshop coming up? That's the design hanging up behind me for those of you watching. I'll put up a little information on the screen about it while we wait for this to dry. Our spring workshop starts April 15th and 17th. Okay, comment workshop. Thank you, Elizabeth, for reporting back. Comment workshop if you want more information about this. If you're watching on TikTok, you'll follow the link in my profile. It's $10 to sign up. It's a double-sided design. The front side is the spring version. The back side is kind of like a patriotic 4th of July design. We aren't going to be teaching how to paint this one in the workshop, but we will give you the template and supply list. We will be teaching how to paint the other side, the yellow side, the spring side, if you will. And then if you want to learn how to paint the patriotic side, you can join the Painters Clubhouse. We'll be painting it April 28th in the Clubhouse. If you don't want to pay the $10, but you know you want to go ahead and join Painters Clubhouse, you can join Clubhouse early and get access to this workshop for free. So you can do that at paintersclubhouse.com. You'll get our really great, what am I trying to say? I'm losing words. You'll get our wood letter workshop bonus. All the information's over on the sign up page. We'll also send you a fun little welcome kit in the mail. And if you decide to join us annually and pay for the entire year up front, you will get 2 months for free. Plus, you'll get a really fun bonus that we're going to send you in the mail. It's a frame project with 12 different attachments. There's my helper. I told them that you must have lost track of time playing with the new laser.
No, we were hanging at the 2 wall cabinets.
Oh, fun. We're getting more storage out in the shipping area. They have built like a cabinet and like tabletops thing to go on the bottom area. And then today he said they just hung up cabinets on the wall, so above it. So that's exciting.
Yeah, we're almost, I think, done for the year for the shipping area.
That's exciting. That's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 years, long time coming.
Well, that's part of it.
Well, and we didn't start on it sooner because we didn't really know what we wanted or what we needed back there, but now we do. So, hey, Sarah, welcome. And says your paint holder's crooked. What? Paint holder. Oh, on the wall behind me. I probably bumped it walking through here. There's not a lot of space between me and the wall here. Thank you.
Eventually, when maybe some of the chitlins move out, one of the chitlins or something, not really in any hurry, but we may knock out a wall or so.
I'm not looking forward to being an empty nester or having my child move out, but I do daydream sometimes about when Travis moves out. I'm going to bump Brett to Travis's room and be like, here's your new bedroom. I'm knocking out your bedroom wall and I'm expanding my craft room. That's what I daydream about. Because we do have 5 bedrooms in this house, so we can afford to lose one when somebody moves out. But who knows? But when he moves out, I may be like, oh, let's keep it as a guest room, just in case somebody comes and needs a place to stay. That'll probably be me too. As a Painters Clubhouse member, where do we get information on this workshop? It's in the Facebook group. Lauren, can you confirm for me? Is it in there yet? And is it pinned to like the featured tab or anything like that?
Elizabeth Douglas said join the Facebook group. So it may just be a matter of...
Well, Marina's already in the Facebook group.
Okay.
She's a Painters Clubhouse member. So, and Elizabeth may have been answering her, or she may have been answering somebody else. I'm looking for a sponge pouncer. I thought I had one that was red.
Barb said, oh, trust me, when they move out, they are here more than when they... I don't know, Travis
will come to eat.
Travis is a homebody, so he stayed. Now, Brett, when he gets his driver's license, that boy won't stay home.
It's funny because Travis has always been a super picky eater up until like the last 3 years, I would say. And all of a sudden, he doesn't complain what I make, no matter what it is. He'll just be like, thank you for making dinner, Mom. I think all of a sudden he has this appreciation for Mom making dinner. I just realized I'm getting ahead of myself. I do need to do polka dots. Hold on. I'm not getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and do this. This is jack-o'-lantern orange. It's a much brighter orange, and I want to use it to do some polka dots on our towel. Thank you, Lauren. She said it's pinned to the featured tab of the group. Okay, I'm just looking. Actually, also, this little part of the towel is dark orange because it's like the flip side. You know how towels kind of have like a side that's printed and a side that's solid? This is actually supposed to be jack-o'-lantern orange. So we're going to do our dots, and then we'll paint that whole area orange. So I'm dipping my little sponge pouncer in the orange paint, and I scraped most of it off. And I'm just going to start down here in the corner and do a dot, give it a gentle twist. It will have a little bit of like a bubbly look to it, and that's okay. Go up and do another dot. And here's my trick for those of you who are new. We create a triangle with 3 dots. This is how we fill in an area with a pattern of dots. And then we just keep building triangles. So I can draw an invisible triangle among these 3. I can create one up here. And I can just keep going. And it kind of like fills the area with the pattern. And you definitely want to have some that look like they're disappearing off the edge of the door hanger. That kind of creates that illusion.
Lynn said the top lenses on the glasses also needs more black to fill in the lenses.
Y'all are so good. I would have picked that up later. I'll get it later.
Once she said it, I'm looking on the screen here, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's right, because I don't see the lenses.
That's what happens when you're too close to something that you're painting. You don't pick up on those little things. But I'll get it when I go back to paint the actual glass frames. I'm gonna have to get a different brush. That brush has black gunked up in it, and it's not coming out very easily. So I'm gonna have to actually clean that one properly. Okay, I'm getting a 1/2 inch wide brush, and I'm just going to use this now to fill in this whole area on this side of the towel.
I used this one the other day.
You used the rake brush, I think that's what that's called.
Whatever it's called. I used it.
To do your splatter paint?
No, I used it to make the
I saw that.
And, blue stripes.
Charlie was crafting this past weekend, and she did everybody's handprints on a piece of paper and wrote 2025 at the top. And then she taped them to the wall of my living room and said, we'll leave these here for several years. That way we can see how much we've grown. And I'm like, I don't think we'll leave those up there for several years, but maybe a few weeks, and then they'll disappear.
Let's say, though, she traced Tamara, Travis, and Brett's hands, but she painted her hand and actually put it on the paper.
She stamped her hand.
And I volunteered to paint my hand and put it on the paper.
It was very sweet of you to participate in her craft project because I didn't have the patience for it. I was like, I don't want to paint my hand. You can trace my hand. Okay. This jack-o'-lantern orange doesn't cover nearly as well as some other colors, so we're going to have to do another coat. But thankfully, we're painting it on top of this fresh mango color, which already has orange in it, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Yep, she's a daddy's girl.
Yeah. A little bit.
Brenda, you didn't know this triangle method? I figured you'd watched me paint enough times. You'd heard me explain that before. It's a great little hack.
We can try that.
I think that's probably what I'll do, Marina, something like that. Put them in a frame, her little handprint things. I need to buy some of those frames that swing open on the front that you can just stash kids' artwork in, because our fridge is full and there's nowhere else to put artwork. So she's now resorted to taping things to my walls.
You know, and the weird thing is Brett here lately, because he's been working on that one drawing at church for a while, and it's looking pretty good. While
he listens to the preacher preach, he's been like using like a pencil and doing lots of shading and creating like a landscape painting. It's really cool. Okay, let's go ahead and paint another coat of white on our sunscreen bottle here.
We can try that this afternoon if you want. We can try that canvas again.
Yeah.
Because I put 2 coats of the red and blue on.
Yeah. That's what you've been. Oh no, you said you were hanging.
I did that last
cabinets
night.
On the wall. I
Yeah,
gotcha.
I did that last night. I just meant like it should have cured by now, and it should be a pretty thick coat.
Yeah.
Lynn said you need to make sure you date them.
She wrote 2025 at the top of them in paint on each one. It's cool. It's covered. Okay, now let's use Bahama Blue to paint our tumbler cup. Hello, Vicky. Welcome. Brenda said, Tamara, I was watching Uncle Corey's posts and you're quite a comedian. Oh no. What in the comments was that picking on him? He's always picking on me, so he deserves it. Are you talking about his posts on TikTok? I love to infuse humor in almost everything I do. Makes life more fun.
Dixie said frames that change. Check it out. You can change the pics in the same frame and store them in the frame.
I smell a Friday Fab 5 item coming on. I don't know if the straw to this is supposed to be teal blue or not. Let me look. Yep. Oh, the top's supposed to have gray. Well, that's okay. We can go back and add that. Like the lid is supposed to have gray on it. We'll just paint blue anyway. What are they saying? Do you store your paints upside down? Yes, I do.
Oh.
What are you laughing at?
Because I didn't read it like that. I read it. Do you store your pants upside down?
Paints.
I know. I was like,
Did you think it was a troll comment?
Yeah, I don't know. I was sitting there. I was like, wait, what? And I had to. I'm reading it. I don't know.
We did have some troll comments during our free paint party the other night. I had to boot several people. It was kind of crazy.
Ann said, yes, keep those memories. You're going to miss those moments someday. At least I do, but we only have one kid. She sounds so cute, like mama, like daughter. Yeah, she's always crafting, whether it's, there's a little table makeshift table that sits beside the couch, and there's all kinds of drawings and a sculpture of a cheeseburger and a little fuzzy guy that she's put together, and She come in there one day, and there was a some soldier, one of Travis or Brett's army guys that she had found out in the yard in the dirt that had faded, the paint had faded and whatnot. She come in and cleaned it up and painted it like a zombie. Sat there and touched it up and painted it like a zombie. It was like, hey, look, Dad, he sits there and you can still use him. He's missing a hand, but that works because he's a zombie now.
She painted an army man and turned him into a zombie.
No, yeah, Paula, you spelled it right. You spelled it right. I just completely looked at it and saw, for whatever reason, saw pants. I don't know.
I noticed there's this little spot inside the handle of the Stanley Cup, and so I'm painting it with the same tan color from the beach bag because it's kind of like the beach bag showing behind the handle there. And I'm just using a little round tip brush to touch that up. Thank you, Cass. Okay, for the gray at the top of the Stanley Cup, I'm going to use Gray Sky, and this is going to be like the little lid that screws onto the top of the cup. I keep calling it a Stanley Cup, but technically it's not a Stanley Cup. I don't even own a Stanley Cup. Not Stanley brand anyway. I own a lot of knockoffs. Tumbler.
Yeah, but you call everything tumbler.
Do I?
Yeah.
It's a good word. It's descriptive of what it is. You drop it, it'll tumble.
Is it one of those words like crescent wrench? You know, like
yeah, or duct tape.
It's not really a crescent wrench; it's an adjustable wrench. But crescent just kind of
stuck.
Yep.
Okay, now we're going to do some leopard print on our cup with a larger, chunkier round tip brush. Filbert tip brush would also work. I think I'm going to use this one though. And we're going to do a lighter color. So I'm going to take the teal that I just used and add some white to it.
Janet wanted to know, what tan color did you use on the bag?
Light mocha. Light mocha. I don't know if this is light enough, so I'm going to test it. Oh yeah, I think that'll work. So now we're just going to make some little wiggly leopard print on here. So I kind of like, if you have shaky hands, this is actually easier, I feel like, because your hands already naturally do that little wiggly motion. So it's kind of like making C shapes or U shapes. Sometimes it's like an O shape that's disconnected on each side. Just make sure each one is kind of going a different direction or nests up next to the other one.
Elizabeth said Stanley just had a massive recall.
Oh.
I wonder why.
I haven't heard about that. We're just filling in the space with our leopard spots. If you don't want to do leopard spots, you could do polka dots or something else. I think I might also add some glitter to this here in a bit, to our cup. Oh, let's just let that naturally dry. While that's drying, I'm going to add some yellow, like a label, to my sunscreen. I can't think of the name of that little bottle. Every time I try to think of it, it's not coming to my mind. I'm using cadmium yellow, and I'm just going to trace the little circle in the middle. And then fill it in. And I'm not having to freehand this. If you can't see it, the lines are actually lasered on the door hanger itself. So I'm just painting inside the lines to create this little sunshine.
Elizabeth said they were defective, along with some other issues.
But that was costly.
Well, I mean, sometimes it happens.
Yep. SPF. We don't know what SPF it is. It could be SPF 70 or SPF 5. Okay. Now let's hop down here and do some more work on our sunglasses. I'm going to switch to a small flat tip brush. This one's like 1/4 inch wide, flat tip. And I'm going to begin by touching up the sunglasses that I messed up earlier. Forgot to fill in the rest of the lens here. And then touch up. And then I've got a really cool iridescent varnish that I want to do on the inside of the lenses to make them look polarized. I think that'll be really cool. Okay, let me dry that because I don't want to get any of that black paint into my pink. Now, the pink that I chose for this is a really pretty pink, but it's not my favorite pink to work with. It's Fuchsia Pop, and it has a tendency to be a little on the transparent side. And boy, that is a big old paint booger. You see that?
It is.
Blow your nose, little bottle. And so I'm trying to think, like we may have, I'm going to test this. We may have to do like another paint color coat underneath. But then again, this light mocha might be the best color to undercoat. I don't really know. So let me just test a small area here and then dry it.
Allie Anderson wanted to know, is there a video somewhere where you can go, where you go over the different types of brushes like filbert, round tip, and
yeah, we actually
liner?
We actually have a video like that inside of our beginners section of the Painters Clubhouse. So if you end up joining the clubhouse, you can go through there. I started to say there might be a video in our beginners course, but I don't think it specifically breaks down the different brush types. We do have a free beginners course that you can take over on my website. You go to southernadornmentsdecor.com and click freebies at the top, and it'll be there. Okay, I think this will work. We just might have to do like 3 coats. So I'm going to continue on painting these little sunglasses with the Fuchsia Pop. And we might even add some glitter to the frames themselves. And that will kind of camouflage any little imperfections too.
How do you say her name? How do you say that?
I would just say L-Ann, or is it Leanne? I don't know.
Ann,
or just say
Ann. I think
Ann.
the first time I said Leanne, but then I was like, But she said she saw you yesterday with Tim Christie from last year, where you made Christie's craft room. But she did the porcelainer with home, and she loves the home porcelainer. That
was a project we did in the Painters Clubhouse as a collaboration with Christie's Craft Room in the Painters Clubhouse back in like August or September. I don't remember, but it was really fun. Christy taught how to do a project that coordinated with the porcelainer that we did.
Yeah, I actually got to do a little staining on that one.
Yep. And Christy was a guest artist at our last live event in the Smokies. Her and Tim came and taught a project. And Michael taught us how to do the staining on that project. Okay. I probably should have picked a different brush because that felt like that took way longer than it normally does for me. Megan, I don't believe it'll go through. But then again, I said that about the last time. It was down for about 6 hours. I will miss it if it disappears, though. Talking about TikTok ban. They say it's supposed to happen again in 5 days. I don't know. We'll see. Believe it when I see it. If it does happen, everybody will just flock to like YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels or something, and we'll all hang out there and continue making our videos, so it'll be fun. Thank you to those of you who hit the share button. I appreciate you guys sprinkling the love on our videos. If you know somebody who might enjoy this type of project, I would love it if you would tag them in the comments and be like, hey, you've got to check this out. And then try to encourage them to join us for our spring workshop in April, because this would be a really fun project to do with a group of girls. Y'all could get together, have a girls' craft night, paint the project together. Everybody order the kit. Have some appetizers and some desserts. Kick your husbands out the house. It'd be a lot of fun. Or you could do it with a group of church ladies at the, wouldn't have to kick the husbands out there. You could just have it in like your church fellowship room. To put me up on the TV, turn on the video, and follow along.
What was Christy's project? Did I say live?
It was the Cocoa Cup.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was double-sided.
Yes, everybody loved that project.
Once I had the snowman.
Mm-hmm. It was fun.
It was cute.
Lots of little pieces on that one.
Yeah, but it was cute.
Okay. I don't know how many coats I'm on here. This feels like maybe the second coat for the whole thing. It might be good. Let's try it.
Teeny white polka dots would be cute as well on the sunglasses, and then glitter.
I like that idea, Lisa. We might have to do that. Thank you for the gifts, Lindsay, on TikTok. Hey, hey. Oh, maybe it wasn't a gift. I don't know how gifts work on TikTok. It says she got the #1 gifter badge. So maybe she gifted me something. I don't know. I don't know how that works on TikTok. TikTok gift illiterate. Facebook has stars. TikTok has other things. I don't know how any of it works, but I appreciate it. It does probably help boost my video somehow. If you're just now tuning in, be sure to hit that follow button or like the video so you can see more door hanger painting in the future. I'm just touching up a couple places on these sunglasses. While we wait for that to dry, let's put some glitter on our tumbler cup.
Elizabeth says definitely glitter on the sunglasses.
So I've got my craft twinkles, and I'm just going to put some glitter on the leopard spots. So I'm kind of scooping it up because I want to put it on kind of thick. So I'm using my brush kind of like a shovel. And then I'm just dabbing it on the leopard spots.
Oh, that's cool. Janet said, I'm doing a project with my granddaughter's sign language club in a couple of weeks via Zoom.
Oh, fun. Are they learning sign language? That sounds like such a fun club to be a part of. I would have loved that as a kid. Because I was the weirdo who got out like the encyclopedia when I was bored in class because I got my work done. And I would turn to like the S section about sign language, and I taught myself sign language alphabet. And I kind of remember most of it. Like I could probably do the whole alphabet for you. I might mess up 1 or 2 letters. But I love learning that kind of stuff. But I love learning I love learning any kind of language stuff. Like I took 4 years of Spanish in high school. Not all of it stuck, but I think I would have if I had been able to travel abroad.
Definitely comes in handy when we're watching a show and they're speaking Spanish and I'm looking at her, especially if there's no subtitles. I'm looking at her and I'm like, what did you say?
Yeah, we watched Landman. And if you know that show, there's a lot of Spanish in that show. And they don't always give you the subtitles as to what the guy is saying in Spanish because you're not necessarily meant to know what he's saying because the guy that they're speaking to doesn't know what they're saying. And so I was like translating for Michael most of what it was. And then we were Googling the slang words that I didn't know. Ooh, what if we put some on the sunshine on the SPF bottle? That could be really cute too.
Janet said, yes, they are learning sign language. Lynn wanted to know, are the craft twinkles from Deco Art?
Yeah, and these craft twinkles, this actual bottle is in the Deco Art paint pack that you can buy for the workshop. So if you don't have these and you end up buying that paint pack from Deco Art, it will have a bottle of these craft twinkles in it.
And so that's not because Ange asked, is that Galaxy Glitter? So that's not.
No, this one's not Galaxy Glitter. This is crystal craft twinkles made by Deco Art.
You can send
Galaxy Glitter's like chunkier. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Wanda said she's cleaning her craft room while she's watching you.
Oh,
Nice.
Wanda, you need to get in touch with Sheila. She needs to go clean her craft room. Maybe y'all can hold each other accountable. Send each other progress pictures. Sheila Smith was on here and she said that she had to move from her craft room to her dining room because her craft room's too messy. Thank you for this idea, Lisa. This is really cute. I'm using the bottom of my paintbrush to add little polka dots to the frames on my sunglasses. And then we're going to dry that, and then we'll add glitter. These look like little pair of eyewear glasses. And then we're going to take it one step further, and we're going to add some iridescent varnish. Will you do that? And then we're going to, on the screen there, slide that little puzzle piece over so TikTok knows I'm not a robot and I am still live.
Oh, crap.
No, you got to.
Yep, I'm tracking. I did it wrong again.
But we're going to add the iridescent varnish to the lenses to make them look like polarized lenses. It looks really cool on top of black paint. If you guys don't have any of this stuff, you'll be adding it to your cart next time you're on DecoArt's website. Guaranteed. I don't use it very often because I forget about it, but I love it. Okay, let's try this.
Missy said, I know the most important words in Spanish. Taco, burrito, etc.
Or what is your favorite word in Spanish? Donde?
Donde está el baño?
So he knows how to ask where the bathroom is. So that's important after eating the tacos and the burritos. Yeah. Where's the bathroom? Wanda said, I don't know where to start or end. With the craft room, surfaces. Start with floors and tabletops. So if you've got door hangers and things stacked up in the corners of your room, start corralling those. If you need some encouragement, go over to my YouTube channel. There's an entire video that I posted about a month or two ago about cleaning up my craft room. And so you can kind of watch my process. But usually I encourage you to start with like trash, take out all the trash, gather up all the trash that's like sitting around cardboard boxes and stuff, and then start corralling like items together and taking care of your tabletop surfaces. Because once your tabletop surfaces feel clean, you feel inspired and motivated to continue with the next thing because you'll have a surface to actually lay out the other things that you need to sort. So go over to YouTube, find my craft room cleanup video and watch it. I forgot today's April Fool's Day.
It is. Patricia said, Tamara, what shape are your glasses? I'm getting a new pair of glasses and I love that shape.
These are Larkin frames, which are actually very similar to the shape of these glasses that we're painting. All right, I'm picking up the craft twinkles and I'm just going to put gently some of this on these frames. And I'm saying gently because I'm not 100% certain my polka dots are 100% dry. They look dry, but the underneath might not be dry.
And then Sheila said, have you used the folk art traditions, the paint transitions from one color to another, and it is great on black?
I've never used folk art traditions. I had some folk art a long time ago, but I switched to just DecoArt paints back in like 2017. And that's pretty much the main brand I've worked with since. These are some cute little glittery glasses. Okay. Now that the frames are glittered, I'll hold them up closer here in a bit. Let's get a clean brush. And we're going to use this. This comes in different colors. There's turquoise, blue, violet, and green, I think. This one's the turquoise. And it's clear, but it kind of has like a holographic look to it. So when we spread it on, it's going to look kind of white and milky, but then it'll dry. And it will give anything that's got a dark color a like tint. So I'm painting it on top of black. So it's going to give this black paint a kind of like polarized, holographic sort of look. I put too much on that other lens, so I'm kind of like picking it up and spreading it.
So is it like, I wonder if it's...
What are you talking about?
I was trying to look up that folk art.
Oh.
Folk art traditions. She said, I've used the folk art iridescent top coat on sunglasses and it makes a polarized effect. And I was looking at it.
I'm wondering if I can combine two different iridescent varnishes on these sunglasses because I have this one that's turquoise and it's a really cool like green sort of look. But I'm wondering if I can use the purple also to kind of get like, you know how polarized lenses, when you flip them in the mirror, in the light, they look like two different colors kind of. So I'm like, what if I did a little bit of, let me see if I got the blue one over here too. Let's see. I thought I did. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's in one of the small bottles instead of the big bottles. Whoops, I'm knocking things off the table.
So I can have nice things.
Galaxy varnish. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, I found this one. This one's the purple. So I'm like, let's see what happens too if I use a little bit of this. Hold on, this one needs shaking.
Oh.
You used magenta. Oh, I didn't know they had a magenta. That's cool. Or is that in folk art, I guess?
Folk art, dragonfly, glaze, iridescent.
It does remind me kind of like of a dragonfly's wings. Tested on a scrap, somebody said. I don't have any scrap. Not handy anyway. It's just paint. We can paint over it. I've never even used this. I can't get the, it's got the seal on top of it.
We're going to learn something today.
We're going to try something new today.
Maria says it may layer. It has a duochrome pigment to give the effect.
Cool. Okay.
And then she said Cindy Manley showed us the traditions. Each bottle has 3 different colors.
Ooh, that's kind of cool. I don't know if I like it, but it's cool looking.
That is kind of cool.
It's like purple and teal. But what if I like dipped in both and kind of blended them? Would that be weird? Kind of add little swipes of each one. I don't want it to be like too purple, but if I add like the teal back on top of the purple, it would probably like soften it a bit. The purple's pretty bold compared to the teal. It's showing up way better on the black. Okay, let's try it and see what happens. Oh, gold would be cute on those. Yeah. Kind of like aviators. Megan said, that'd be a cute teacher door hanger. We're going to learn today.
Yeah.
Touching up a couple of my stripes. After they dried, I can definitely see that the black didn't get full coverage in places.
We got told that many times in boot camp too.
The Marine Corps boot camp. We're going to learn today. Okay. What do you think so far? Here's our sunglasses. They do have a really cool like flip color to them.
That's kind of cool. It catches the light.
It does. And I think it'll do it even better. You can see the glitter on the Stanley cup and the glitter on the glasses. I think it'll catch the light even better whenever we do a clear coat on all of it. Okay, last thing I need to do is make sure this black's really good and dry. I'm going to get a baby wipe and clean up the areas where my chalk lines are still showing a bit. And then we'll put our ribbon on. Let's see, there's a little chalk here.
Sheila wanted to know, can you do a video showing how to use the foil? I used it and it didn't come out so well.
Yeah, that might actually make a really good technique spotlight to do in the Painters Clubhouse coming up soon, because I've got to come up with some technique spotlights for like the summer. So maybe I could do one for that. If in doubt, I would go back and look up the in the summer category. If you need it like right now, go look up in the summer category the sunflowers in the milk can project and look at part 2 of the video. Part 2 was Jennifer Ferguson teaching how to use the foils. And she's the best person to teach you how to do the foils because she sells the foils and she knows the do's and don'ts of doing foils. So she'd be the best person to show you. Okay, I got my chalk lines off. Let's cut our ribbon. Look how cute this ribbon's gonna be. Let me get
Maria
this out of the way.
said gold foil lettering would look neat on a design like this.
Okay, I'm gonna cut it a little longer than I need because I know I've got to make like knots.
And nautical rope would make a good handle.
Ooh, nautical rope would be real cute too. That's a good idea.
Carrie said, is there a video on ceiling door hangers with and without paint pens? You've done a video like that. Is there a video on ceiling door hangers?
No, can't answer that phone call right now.
With and without paint pens?
I don't think so. I've done little like reel type videos, short ones, but I haven't done like a full longer tutorial on that. I may have to do a double knot. These holes are so big.
I think you did a video, or you did like a talk over video of me doing spray on sealer.
Will you get the staple gun over there?
Yeah.
I'm just going to staple this. Instead of like continuing to knot this bigger and bigger, I may have the guys reduce the size of these holes if you guys buy any more of these.
We did your specifications.
Yep. Let me think. I think I want to staple it down like this. That way when it hangs, it'll cover the hole. For the gravity will cover the hole. So put that one in. Let's see, we want it to hang like so. Put this one in. Keep pulling more of it through because I need more, but then I'm going to put it back through the other side. So don't worry. We won't use that much of it. Okay, so it's not pretty from the back, but from the front, this is wired ribbon too. So you kind of have to like fluff out your wire, make it hang right. But look how cute that is. Little strap to my bag. That is darling.
Lauren said, I think when you make this, the hanger for this, it should be this ribbon stapled on the back too.
Like, to like hang it from the other strap? Yep. That's a good idea.
Like a strap on the other side, yeah.
Let's go ahead and do that. So everybody understands what I'm saying here. So we need a piece about as long-ish. Always cut a little more than you think you need.
Maria said you could have tied it together on the back.
Oh yeah, that would have worked. You're gonna have to call Danny Hopkins back. He won't quit calling. He's our lawnmower man. I definitely cut too much of this, but let's staple it like this so the pretty side hangs right on the other side.
I was gonna put it on solid, but I don't know how to do your phone solid. Did I just do something?
No, you're fine. Okay, let's do this. On this side, did I make it too long, or I almost made this too short, or is it okay? I think that's pretty cute. It might be a bit too long. Viciously pull up the. Oh, you got pliers?
I got pliers.
This is the way I usually do it. I ruined my scissors pulling it out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Don't say it like you know everything.
I don't know everything, but I know that that'll ruin scissors.
Okay, we got it. Look how cute this is. Okay, so there's the strap on the back. You hold the bag up by, and then the bag's like this on the front with your little strap. Super cute. Janet said, was that rubber band on your ribbon? Oh yeah, it's holding my ribbon to like all on the spool so it doesn't go anywhere.
Albert asked, did I figure out how to laser the canvas? Not just yet. I've actually got another piece of canvas that is situated, and I'm going to try it again today.
Lauren said it's too wide. I should have stapled them closer together. I think, though, by the time it hangs on the door, it looks like the same width because of it's pulling it together at the middle. So I think it's okay. If you want to make this beach bag design, go over to shopdoorhangers.com, use the search bar, type in beach bag, and it will bring up the template or wood blank for this. This is the 18-inch. And you can come back and follow along with the replay of this video. It'll be on YouTube indefinitely, but only on Facebook for 30 days. And then if you want to sign up for our spring workshop, we would love to invite you to come paint Lola the Highland Cow with us. She's got a double-sided design. One side has flowers and the other side has a patriotic version. You can get the templates and supply lists for both sides for just $10, not to mention access to the live video tutorials painting the spring version, which is the yellow one, inside a private Facebook group. So this is your perfect opportunity to paint your first door hanger right along with a group of other people who are doing the same. It's a very welcoming and supportive group, and you're going to learn a lot throughout the process. Now, you can order a kit for this project. It's $45 with free shipping. It comes with an 18-inch wood round, the 3D lettering for both sides of the project, some brushes that you're going to need, the printed templates, and the graphite paper. And then if you need paint, we also have a Deco Art paint pack that you can order once you're in that Facebook group or get that supply list. It'll be linked there. It does include those craft twinkles, so you'll have those on hand next time you want to paint with those. And then if you decide that you want to do this and you don't want to pay the $10, but you're ready to go ahead and join the Painters Clubhouse, go to paintersclubhouse.com. You can sign up for $47 a month and learn how to paint door hangers with me every month, along with our supportive community. This is the best way to really step into this craft and feel supported and like you have everything you need. It's going to help you go from feeling like really frustrated at trying to figure out what kind of wood do I need? What kind of paint do I need? What kind of paint color? Do I start here or do I start there? You're not going to have any of those questions. You're going to follow along with my tutorials and feel confident picking up your brush and knowing where to begin. And by the time you complete the project, you're going to feel so proud of yourself and ready to do another one because it becomes very addicting once you paint your first project. So if you're ready to join us now, go to paintersclubhouse.com. You'll get free access to the spring workshop, and you'll get access to lots of other painting tutorials, some of which are hanging up behind me inside the private library. Carrie, yes, if Painters Clubhouse members don't have to pay for this workshop, there is a link in the featured tab of the Facebook group. All right, y'all. Is there a discount code for the kits? No, not for the kits. We've already got those as cheap as we're able to give you. Yes, dear.
Debbie wanted to know, could you use one long piece on both sides? One for both sides.
Potentially, yeah. You could thread it through and make it where it would like thread through one direction or the other, but you would have to like tie a knot in it.
You could use one long piece. Yeah, you'd have to tie a knot.
Yeah, like you would have to feed it through and then tie a knot somewhere underneath the door hanger. So try that out. That might work.
But you could put your knot towards one of the holes.
Yeah, on the back.
So
you wouldn't see it.
You wouldn't see the knot at all.
And then you could probably staple under the knot so that it didn't slide around.
Jennifer wanted to know, how long is PC open?
Painters Clubhouse is open until April 26th. That's about a week after the workshop closes. But if you wait until then to sign up, you're going to miss out on all the really great bonuses. So we've got some awesome bonuses that you can check out over at paintersclubhouse.com.
And will the discount code work on the kits?
I already answered that one.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. All right, y'all. Have a great afternoon. Don't forget to hit the share button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey y'all, this is Casey Hope with Pizzazz Art Studio, and today I'm going to show you how to do a really quick, expressive watercolor piece just using some washable markers. Now, I also love to letter. I am the founder of Pizzazz Art Studio, but also the founder of the Whatever Letter Lettering Club, where we teach ladies how to hand letter and do art every single month in our membership. And so, because I like to add little inspirational somethings, we are going to letter just choose happy right along the edge. Now, you could decide to do that across the middle if you wanted to. However you want to is fine. So, let's get going. My supplies are watercolor paper. I've got a pencil, a Sharpie, some Crayola super tips, just washable markers, paintbrush, and water. So let's get rolling. I'm going to start with just the shape of my pineapple. So that bottom kind of circular shape. So right in here. You just kind of keep doing it until you like it. And then of course you can erase any lines that you don't want. Okay, so I think I've got the shape that I want. I'm going to take my eraser and just kind of erase some of those unnecessary lines. A lot of this will be covered up when I start painting, but some of it will show through. So I'm going to erase as much as possible. And then I kind of just know that up top, these are just kind of going out and back and out and back. And just kind of giving a basic framework. I'll add more up here as I go. Next, I'm going to pencil in my lettering. So I'm going to bring this up close so that you can see. So for the twos, I'm just going to do it really kind of plain. Okay, so really plain. And then for the happy, we are going to go one stroke at a time. Down. You see how we're just doing one stroke at a time. And on this loop, I'm going to really kind of loop it under. All right, so once you've got that like you like it, then I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to, let's move all this out of the way. I'm going to go over and just trace over my lettering. I'm outside creating. That's my favorite place to create, but in the one side effect is having background noise, so I apologize. All right. Okay, and then if you want to thicken those down strokes, you can. This is all the stuff that we teach in our lettering club, is different fonts and thickening the down strokes and all of that fun stuff. Okay, kind of got a little bit. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do for the lettering. Very small, just a little accent piece. Okay, so that's what we got there. And then I'm going to start my expressive coloring and painting. So let's get rolling. With my yellow, I'm gonna first, because this is permanent, I can use watercolor over that black and it's no big deal. Okay, so I'm gonna get my yellow on. Then I'm going to come at these angle lines coming this way. And then we'll go angle lines going the other way. And then you see how these are diamonds? On the left side of each diamond, I'm going to give it a little scribble. Okay, see how that's just kind of on that left side? It's not completely colored in, but on the left side of the diamond, I am going to, this is what I'm saying, it's very expressive because you're just really just kind of scribbling and having fun with it and not trying to be perfect at all. Okay, now on the right side, I'm going to do a little bit of orange and pink on the right side of all of these little diamonds. Okay, so see how I kind of come like that, but then I scribble it in a bit too. So I'm kind of going on the, tracing the right side of the diamond and then giving it a little scribble. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with just a little bit of pink. Just because sometimes the pink is a little bit stronger. So I don't have to do it as much. I'm also going to kind of come around the right side with some of this pink. Okay, now before we go to the top, I'm gonna go ahead and add my water to this. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. All right, so as we add the water, I'm gonna start with my yellow first and just kind of loosen this up. Now remember, I am on watercolor paper. If you are not using a watercolor paper, this effect doesn't work so well, okay? So I'm using washable Crayola markers on watercolor paper, and it's turning into this, okay? If you have some other washable markers or watercolor markers, you'll get a similar effect. Okay, now I'm going to go to the darker areas and just kind of loosen it up. Remember, this is going to be a very loose, expressive watercolor. So we are not looking for perfect outlines. We just kind of strategically put the color where we knew there'd be the lighter and the dark, and that's going to kind of take care of this look for us. We're not trying to be perfect here. And we're not, and it's a-okay. I think it's actually good to leave some of the white spots showing. There's something a little bit more expressive about that style to me than if you were to paint everything in. Now notice what I did not do. I did not take my brush and paint everything like this. That would have been awful. Everything would have turned to one shade of orange, okay? I did all the yellow first, and then I came in and loosened up all the other. Okay, that's important. Now I'm going to get my light green washable Crayola and start kind of very expressively filling this in. Notice that it's not a solid coverage that we're having to do. I'll throw in another shade of green. Okay, and then I'm going to go with my, this kind of aqua and go on the right side up underneath, very expressively. I might do a little bit over here too. Now you could leave that as is. I really think it looks good as is, but you can also add the water to it as well. So I'm going to start with those lighter colors before I go to the dark, and I'm just kind of adding water to it and loosening it up so it has a little bit of that watercolor look. And then you will naturally have green on your brush. If you wanted to do like some little filler ends in places, you can kind of do that as well. So there you go, y'all. That's it. It's an easy, expressive, fun pineapple that, let me try to zoom back out, that uses really simple materials, and it's just fun. Choose happy reminds you that you do have a choice on your attitude and the way that you look at things, and we are choosing happy. So if you want more information about us, you can find us at Pizzazz Art Studio on Facebook or Instagram. If you want more info of the Lettering Club, you can head to pizzazzonline.com. All right, see y'all.
Okay, this is our last little commercial break before we finish strong with our next guest. I want to show you how you can go from no subscribers to a lot of subscribers. I did this with 26,000 subscribers. It took me well over 10 years, way over 10 years. And now I did all the way to over 400,000 subscribers in less than 4 months. If you want to know more about that, check the description. I have a YouTube course for you that you can grab, and I tell you all my secrets and exactly how to do it. All right, stay tuned.
All right, so we're going to use a little bit of blue, a little bit of white, and I have two blues here. I brought the Calypso blue, and then this is the Windsor blue, just two nice shades of blue we're going to use on the background. We're going to do a little something more, a little more interesting than normal on the background. So just bear with me, and if you're on your lunch break and you have to pop off, just don't forget to come back when you get off work and watch the rest. Okay, so I'm going to take a pencil. Let me grab one. I'm going to take just a little pencil. I'm going to grab a watercolor. No, not grabbing that one because it's I'll grab this blue one. It'll show up better anyway. I'm just grab a pencil. Yes, it is a sign of hospitality. So I'm gonna grab a pencil and I'm just gonna mark. I don't wanna do a straight line. Like I want the pineapple to have something to sit on, right? Instead of just floating. So I am going to, instead of drawing a straight line, we're gonna mix it up a little and I'm just gonna make like an angle, all right? And then we're gonna do the bottom half is gonna be our table. We're gonna still do it blue, just a little lighter, and the top half kind of be like the wall, right? So I'm gonna just start with some white. I'm gonna throw this white on my old plate. And I'm gonna go ahead, let me scooch some of this over so y'all can see. I'm gonna go ahead and add both of these blues. Shake it up. Add both of these blues. This is Calypso. I do. I have the gold ones too, but I love the silver the best, so I'll always wear them. So we got Calypso, and we have Windsor. That's right, Sherry, it will. 20 ounces. So we got two different blues and some white. So I'm gonna grab my larger brush. This is like a 1-inch flat. And I'm gonna go ahead and just put, I don't want you in there, get off there. I'm gonna go ahead and on this bottom part where the table is gonna be, I'm just gonna go ahead and just paint that whole thing with my white. Well, there's bugs in there. Blech. Your little monster is at your feet. That's funny. So we're gonna get that white on. I'm gonna bring that all the way up. Then I'm just gonna offload onto my paper towel, just get the excess white out of my brush. And I'm gonna grab the Calypso, which is the mid-tone blue that we have. I'm just gonna grab some of that on my brush, load it up a little, and just come in and add on top of that white just to bring it down a notch. And I don't want it to be all one color, so I like that it's kind of streaky like it is now. And after we add our pineapple, we'll give it a little shadow as well, all right? So I'm gonna just wipe that off, and I'm gonna come up to the top, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna add our white, and just get it on because we want this to be wet. We're gonna blend a few colors together. Should have just squirted the white on my canvas because I don't have enough anyway. And that's the biggest paint bug I ever saw. My goodness. They just don't make paint the way they used to. All right, just get it on. Oh, there it is. There, come on, scoop off. And I'm gonna come all the way down to my table line. It doesn't have to be perfect either. Nothing ever is perfect if I'm doing it. I promise you that. Ain't no way. Don't even try. All right, so we got all that white on. I'm gonna offload some of that white and I'm gonna grab some of that Calypso and I'm just gonna start kind of making X's. I like to say X's when I'm just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I'm gonna start with that Calypso. Then I'm gonna offload, I'm gonna add in some of the, what color was that? Windsor, to give it a little more depth. And let's come down. I'm gonna get a little more for separation so we know. Try to not make it look like a little solid line that I just drew. And I think what I want to do, I brought some green to the table because we're gonna paint some leaves, but I think I'm gonna add a tiny bit of green as well. A little bit. And if you get too much blue, if it's darker than you want it to be, just let it dry. Add more white, something like that. Don't stress, it's just paint. You can paint over it. A little bit of Hauser light green. And I'm just going to toss in a little bit of that green here and there, just for a little interest. All right? X's, X, 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 X. So now we have yay, Lou. That's what I'm pretty sure, I don't want to say that is exactly what I use, but I'm pretty sure because it's all I have. It's all I have in there. All right, so there's our background. Let's get it dry because we have one more step on our background to do. We're gonna get this dry. That's right, Sally. The table is slanted. Sometimes I get tired of doing things the same way, and I always do like straight across, so I just tried something different. We might all be a little slanted, right? Hey, Louise, to have something different than just a plain wall. So I brought this stencil. We've used this before. It is the, I think from Amazon. I'll post the link later, but it's the Paisley stencil. It either came from Michael's or Amazon, one or the other. And I'm not gonna stencil the whole thing. I'm literally just gonna random stencil one side, and I may like twist it a little just to do something a little different. I think what I am gonna do is grab some tape. Let me grab this piece that's been used 432 times. I'm just gonna stick a little tape to kind of hold it in place. And we're gonna do a little bit of stenciling. Who has stenciled? Hey, Melinda, thank you for the stars. Mary, me too. I woke up at 4:45 this morning, a.m., and I am not a morning person. I normally have to wake up by an alarm at 8 a.m., but because I stay up late. But I've been up since very, very early. I was even at the studio at 7:30 this morning. And I had to fight school traffic today, and I was having some road rage. So I'm a little cuckoo today. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I am gonna grab my stencil brush, okay? I don't know where my brushes are right now. All I can tell you is they are on order. We have approved the brushes and palette knives, and they went into production, and then that's all I know. They don't like it if you hound them, so I'm trying not to do that. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to use a little bit of all three of my colors in my stencil, all right? So I'm gonna start with the darkest blue, which is the Windsor. So you're gonna take your stencil brush, you're gonna dip it into your paint. Look how much paint that is, way too much. I'm gonna just swirl it around on my plate just to blend it in to my brush. Then I am going to go to my paper towel and I'm gonna swirl it. See how much paint that is? Way too much, all right? So I'm gonna swirl it until it looks like there's no paint left, all right? Now, it looks like there's hardly any paint left. You can tell the difference between here and here. It looks like I've rubbed it all off, right? So we're gonna go up here and I'm just gonna start, I'm gonna hold this still a little, and I'm just gonna start randomly. I'm not trying to cover the entire area, the entire stencil, any of that kind of stuff. But I want to show you how much paint was still left. Look at that. That's how much paint was still left. All right, so I'm going to try to get some of that off. And then I'm going to go into my lighter color. Just dab it in. Look how excessive. Nope, that's a hard no. I got to rub it in. And then we're going to take it to our towel. And take it to our towel. Now let's see what we got. Just a few spots here and there. Now we're going to white. White. Rub it in. Come back. Really wanted white, but let's see if we can make it a little whiter. There's so much blue in my stencil. I probably should have started with a fresh stencil, but let's see if we can offload some of that blue. Just rub it off on the paper towel. See how much paint was still in there? Now I'm going to go into that white, twirl it around, offload. It's still pretty blue, but that's okay. And I'm just hitting a few random spots. Look at that. Can you see that? That is spectacular. I'm going to do a little bit here, and I think that's all I'm going to do. How cool is that? Just something a little different, just so it's not just plain old, right? You like it? All right. Very random, not trying to be perfect, highs and lows, distressed kinda. Love that look. Now, the thing you should do at this point is take your stencil and put it in the sink with some cleaner on it, and I clean my stencil with my stencil brush. So what I would normally do, lay it in the sink in a ½ inch of water, let it soak, spray some cleaner, and you're going to take your stencil brush and clean it the same way you applied the paint with your stencil brush. That's going to clean your brush and your stencil, and then you don't end up with an icky stencil like me, always. I always have an icky stencil. All right, so now I'm going to hit this for 5 seconds with the heat gun, just to make sure it's nice and dry. All right, now I have a pineapple that we are going to paint onto our canvas. All right, I'm going to bring it down a little. I got a lot of glass. So, I don't even know if you can see that. Can you guys see that? It's still in pencil. I haven't worked it out yet. But I'm going to kind of get it where I want it. Then I'm going to tape it down. Tape it down in a couple spots. Let's grab some graphite. Thank you for the sprinkles. Let's grab some graphite, and I am going to just trace. I'm going to trace the little bottom part first. Let me find my little stylus. So I'm just going to come around and very lightly trace that yummy pineapple. All right, and the leaves, I'm going to add some of these leaves, but I'm not going to spend an extraordinary amount of time painting those leaves because our leaves are going to mostly be glass. All right, so I'm just going to real quick add, and we're going to do just the bare minimum on leaves. Let's see, I'm trying not to skip, but we can fill in bare minimum. Let's see what we got. Good enough for me. All right, so we have traced our pineapple onto our plate. We traced it on our plate, y'all. Onto our canvas. Let me put this away so I don't mess it up. And let's get ready to paint. All right, so for our pineapple, I'm gonna do very basic, okay? I'm not gonna try to do all those little chunks and pieces. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of 3 colors. We're gonna start with the, whoa. We're gonna start, thanks for the sprinkles. We're gonna start with the crocus yellow, then we're gonna blend in a little bit of gilded oak, and we might do a little shading with traditional burnt umber, and then we'll see how we feel, right? We'll just see how we feel. I'm gonna get a fresh paper towel so we're not blending blue in to our pineapple. I retired in 2014 and it lasted maybe a year. That just, retirement is not, I'll just stick it right there. All right, so I'm just gonna use that same brush that I used for the background. No, I'm not, I'm gonna get something a little smaller. That's gonna be too much. It's a flat brush too though, 1/2 inch, just whatever is easy for you, okay? Doesn't have to be this kind of brush, whatever works for you. We're gonna start with our pineapple and this yellow, all right? So I'm just gonna come in. Ooh, that's yellow. See how yellow that is? I'm gonna grab a little white while I'm at it. That is very yellow. And I'm gonna save space for my leaves. Grab a little white. That yellow is kind of thick too, so. A little yellow. Grab a little white. I don't know what's going on in the back in the warehouse. No, please not go in and out the back door. It just dinged in here 16. Sorry, guys. Okay. They're going in and out, in and out, in and out. All right, so I'm gonna wipe some of that off. I am gonna add a little more white on this far, oh, look what I did. Now I have to make my thing fatter, right? That's all it takes. One, boom. Now, there we go. All right, we'll add a little white. Now I'm gonna offload that. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this gilded oak, which is kind of a dark mustard color. We're gonna blend some of that in. Get some more of that off. And remember, we're adding yellow glass on the top of this, so I'm not stressing too much about how this looks, because the glass is going to cover up probably 90% of this color. I just like to add the color underneath. Just feels better to have that start. All right, I'm gonna throw in a little white. I'm gonna grab a tiny bit of that burnt umber. And I'm just gonna come around. I keep getting, this pineapple keeps getting bigger and bigger because I keep going out of my lines. That's okay. That just made mud. That's okay. Wipe it off, a little white. All right, we're gonna dry this, because like I said, we're not gonna see 90% of this. I just wanted to make sure there was some color underneath the glass, because a lot of times, especially if you have a dark background color, was it my door? the back door at my studio. Ding, 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 ding. Let's get this dry. We're gonna do, thanks Lou. We're gonna do our green at the top. All right, that's good enough. Oh gosh. So I'm gonna have to grab another plate because I got so much color on that plate, it's getting lost. So I'm gonna grab 2 greens. I have a little green on the other plate. I'm gonna just add it here. Thanks for the stars. This is Hauser light green, and this is Hauser medium green. So we have a light green and a medium green. And for this, I am going to use a round brush, okay? It's really good for leaves. So it's kind of fat and pointy. We're gonna wet that. Offload, let me get that yellow under control. Offload a little. I'm gonna go in, I think I'm gonna go into my light green. Just kind of load your brush, roll it into that paint. Make sure it's got a nice amount of paint on it. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna start at the top and work myself down. So I've traced on some leaves. I'm gonna try my very best to follow that, but I probably won't. All right, so I'm just gonna do a little dab, and we'll do a little here. And we'll grab a little bit of the dark, and we'll just follow along. You can even grab a little white and hit that one side. We're gonna go back to the middle green, or the light green, and we'll hit one side with the darker green. Grab a little white. The white's on this plate. I know you can't see it. And just tip in a little white. Go back to your green. We're just gonna go back and forth and build those leaves all the way down to the pineapple. All right, so we'll do this one. I see a little bit of a leaf there. Go into your dark. Go into your white. Go back to the dark or the medium. And we'll do medium. Offload a little if it gets gunky. So we'll hit one side with the dark. Wipe it off. And get a little bit of that white, and we'll hit the opposite side with the white. And then we're just gonna keep doing that on all our leaves. So you can do 2 or 3 at a time. I'm gonna do this one. Get a little darkness. This helps, adding this dark on one side of your pineapple, whatever you call them, helps differentiate each little frond. I don't know what they're called. I get tongue-tied when we're live. I don't know what anything's called. All right, so I'm just gonna keep going. Thank you, Elena. Are y'all digging this? So far, so good? So just come in, and we'll come in here. Grab a little dark. A little dark. Teeny bit of white. And we're just gonna keep going. It's like repeat and repeat. It's good practice though, because you're gonna do this 25 times. Not really, however many times you have leaves, but it's great practice. So we'll do dark and dark. Get a little white. That's so sweet. It's literally just practice. You can do this as well. It's just practice. Let's add a little dark. Teeny bit of white. And then we're gonna start making these a little smaller. Well, line it with the dark green. Dark green, dark green. Teeny bit of white. And let's go to the other side. We're almost done with the leaves. Well, I'm gonna tell you this, guys. I know y'all think I make it look easy, but it's because I paint all the time. And all it takes is practice. Don't for a minute think that this has always come easy to me. I just paint so much, and I allow myself also to make ugly art. You know, I know what needs improvement, and I practice those things and allow myself to, you know, practice the things I know I need to practice and don't give up. So that's all it is. That's the only secret, because we all have this ability in us. You just have to nurture it. You can't say, well, poop on it. I'm done. I didn't do that. I don't like the way that looks. You have to practice. Practice, practice. Just keep painting. Just keep painting, sister. Remember when you were a little kid and you were coloring in your coloring book all the time? Nobody ever said that looks terrible. You just colored and you loved it, and your mom hung it on the refrigerator. That's the kind of painting you need to be doing. Just paint. All right, we're gonna do a little upside down piece. Whoops, I went into the dark. Went to the darkness. And I keep going in the wrong color now. I'm gonna just make a long one. Well, darken it up on one side. Let's grab a little white. I'm gonna put one leaf right here in the middle just to break up that bit of color. All right, I'm happy with that. So what do you guys think? I hope we have enough glass to cover all that. Love it. All right, yes, where the sun shines, exactly. And you know what, guys, a lot of times I don't even stress about that. I just shade where I want to shade. But if you're trying to be a little more realistic, you need to shade how the sun shines, right? All right, so let's get this dry, and then we might do a little outlining. It turned out pretty decent. Super cool. It's so hot in here, y'all. I think it's 1,000 degrees outside. Let me grab my little pen. And I'm just gonna do a little bit of outlining with my little pen. Yeah, it did cover it up a lot, but you can still see it. It's still nice. The stencil's still there. Maybe be a little more heavier, like on the edge than in the middle. So I'm just gonna take my little pen, and I'm just gonna come around. I'm not gonna worry about it too much because we got glass going there, right? And we got glass going up here too, but we're just gonna do just, oh, that's still kind of wet. Let's be a little more gentle. Just a few little marks. You have to be gentle. It's still a little, where it's thicker, it's a little wet. You notice I'm being very messy because I think it looks better messy. You do you though. All right, cool beans. All right, I'm gonna draw my table line too. Just a little Oh, I forgot. Let's do one more thing. I'm gonna grab that brush, that larger brush, that 1/2 inch. It's got a lot of yellow in it. That's okay. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the Calypso blue just on the corner of my brush. Just kind of, oh, that's a lot of water. Just kind of rub it through, back and forth, swish, swish, swish. And I'm gonna come down here and I am gonna make myself a little bit of a shadow, okay? So you're gonna come around the bottom of your pineapple because it is casting a little shadow. So come around the bottom about to there and then just bring it off. Then you can just kind of blend it out a little just to give it a little bit of shadow, all right? Cool beans, works. That works for me. All right, so now we can add our glass. So we're gonna talk about this glass one more time. So this is yellow glass that I literally spray painted myself, okay? I spray painted this a long time ago when I made some glass, when I made an art piece with yellow glass. It is spray painted with what I believe is Krylon Canary Yellow, but you could use any spray paint, any color you want your glass to be. This was originally Starfire, which is crystal clear, no color at all. And you want a mist. You don't want to oversaturate because I still like for my glass to be a little translucent. So you don't want to like oversaturate. What I like to do is mist 2 or 3 coats. And if it's a dark color, I always use a sealer, a clear sealer on that as well, okay? So, yellow glass, I spray painted myself. We do not carry yellow glass. Yellow glass is so hard to find, but you can spray paint it yourself. Now, what we have, this is an old vase. If you just got here, this is one of those old flower vases that you get from the florist when somebody sends you flowers. Just one of those textured green vases. I literally just used my nippers and nipped it all into these shapes. And you want to nip it around, not up and down, so that you get these curves. And then you're going to hone any sharp edges with your honing stone. So here's what we're going to do. These are great big glass pieces, and these are not. But we're going to just work with it. I have a couple of smaller bits. And those are gonna kind of go like right in here. And we're gonna see what happens, okay? I'm just gonna start laying out. So we got glass fronds and we got painted fronds. I'm just gonna do my very best to make it however I feel like it looks nice. And we're not gonna worry about the rest, all right? So let's do a little piece like right here. And I'm gonna do a little piece. I feel like maybe we need to do it like this and then this. Might need to wrangle it a little. I do want it to all touch though. And then we have this one last piece. We're just gonna stick it up in the middle like that, all right? Just like so. There's our pineapple. So you could literally do this with or without the glass if you just do the paint, all right? Or if you don't have the fronds, whatever these things are. So now I'm gonna take my yellow glass and we're just gonna fill in. And you could, if you painted this yellow, you could totally just use Starfire or clear right on top and get away with that. You would not even have to tint. Because if you use the clear, it's gonna reflect what paint color is underneath. So you don't even have to really tint it. I just thought it'd be fun since I already had some. So I'm gonna scooch that all the way to the edge so it's nice and full. And we may add a little more glass, just a smidgy. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do if you're watching this, if you're watching the replay, if you're watching it now, we're gonna have a little fun. If you sprinkle this live video and tell your friends that you watched and that we're here doing beautiful art once a week, I am gonna gift you the rest of this yellow, all right? So we'll send you, and all it took was half of that. So all you gotta do is sprinkle, and we'll draw a name on Monday, and because I have baby tomorrow, and I will gift someone the rest of this glass that I spray painted yellow. All right, so super cool. Let's get some resin ready. Feel like we're gonna need a decent amount of resin for this one. Let me grab a mix cup and some baby cups. Thank you, Margaret. I think I'm gonna do, I don't think I'll need 3 ounces because we're gonna like take these off, rub them down, and then just drizzle on the top. But I'm gonna do 3 ounces. So 1.5 ounces of each. Dadgummit, the front's broken off of my drawer. And every time I try to open it to get gloves out, the front comes off. It's driving me nuts. It's driving me crazy. I pull the drawer and the whole front comes off. Thank you, Esther, for being here. Thanks for the sprinkles, y'all. So we'll draw a name. So make sure you sprinkle and then make sure you tell me that you sprinkled, because what we normally do is pick a number and then scroll down and till we get to that number for the people who sprinkled. All right. Thank you, Marilyn. All right, so I'm gonna scooch this up for just a second. And I'm gonna take my pen and I'm gonna mark this cup at what I say I was gonna do, 3 ounces, 1.5 ounce, and 1.5 ounce. That's probably a lot. Probably won't need that much, but remind me to let you know how much we did use so you'll know if you do this yourself. All right, so let's start with our hardener. Gosh, do we even have 1.5 ounces in here? Hang on, we're gonna be tight. I need to refill my little bottles. Ooh, we might just have 1.5 ounces. Hardener, 1.5 ounces. Thank you, Catherine, or Becky, who said that? Oh, Becky, thank you. All right, so now we'll do our resin in our other cup. 1.5 ounces. Becky just got back from vacation in Gulf Shores. I'm so jelly. I shouldn't be though, I vacation. I go to the beach a lot because I have to. It is in my DNA and it is required for me to be a human, right? All right, so I'm gonna take both of those mixes and dump them in my bigger cup, all right? So we'll put that. Get that in the cup. Make sure you get as much as you can out. There's no way to get every drop, obviously, but make sure you get as much as you can so you're not messing up your mix. All right, now we'll do this and then we'll stir it all up. Sprinkle. Sprinkle. Facebook is so weird, y'all. I know we all say sprinkle now, but Facebook is literally, I'm probably going to get punished for this. They don't like you to say share. They think I'm requesting that you spam your friends, but basically that's what it is. We just want you to let your friends know we're here, and that's how you do that. All right, we're going to stir this for 3 minutes. So while I'm stirring, y'all just let me know I'm gonna pull this back down so you can see. Y'all just let me know if you have any questions, and Becky is gonna time me while I stir. So I'm just gonna stir, scrape the sides. These cups are awful, by the way. They're so squishy, cannot stand them. Just stir, stir, stir. Scrape the sides, scrape the bottom, make sure it's all mixed really nice. Thank you, Rita. Question to give you an answer if I have it. Francis, the membership is $42 a month. We do a minimum of 3 projects that are membership only projects. And then as a member, you also get any tracers or supply list for anything that we do here on the Art Shattered page. And when you join, if you join at the monthly rates, you get access to, like, I think it's 3 years worth of past projects. If you join annually, you get access to every project we've ever done. Okay, yes, this cup is from Amazon, Rennie, and it is terrible. I hate it. But you can go to theshatteredcircle.com and read all about our membership. It's so, like, it's not rigid enough for me, and they're a little mushy, and it drives me nuts. I like it to be firm. I like it firm. I guess I'm manhandling it a little too much. The paint color, crocus yellow. Thank you for the stars, Karen. Maybe a different brand, you know, because I've been getting the cheap ones. I'll be finding the cheapest one. I'm doing a Christmas tree challenge in October. We do it every October. This will be our 3rd or 4th year. We are going to change the Christmas tree challenge up a little this year. We're still doing 3 trees, but we're gonna mix it up a little this year. Thank you for saying that, Donna. That's very sweet. I cannot wait for you ladies who are in the Shattered Circle. I cannot wait to see what you think about our August projects. I cannot wait. North Carolina, please pray for those who have lost their homes. Oh my goodness. Yes, please. Thank you, Becky. Becky said time. Yeah, that's horrific. I'm gonna give it one more quick stir. Yes, Mary the Sandman was so cute, wasn't it? All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start with the yellow part, the glass. All right, so we're gonna get that kind of covered up with our resin and nailed down, and then we're gonna work on those little top pieces, okay? Because we're gonna pick them up and mess with them, and we're gonna do some crazy things. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just drizzle. And the reason people ask me all the time why I drizzle, because the goal is to hit the top of that glass to make it super secure to your canvas. You want to hit the top of the glass, and you want it to run down through all the little nuggets all the way to your canvas, so that it is all kind of covered and secured to the canvas. If I just dump it, there would only be resin in the area where I dumped. So we drizzle it so there is resin on the top as well as the bottom where it meets the canvas. Oh, low power mode. Okay. So we're gonna get all this glass covered. That yellow was really pineapple worthy, wasn't it? All right. Drizzle, drizzle. I just drizzled right on my table too, so I'm sure that'll be on my clothes. All right, so we have the whole pineapple covered. So I'm just gonna take a little bit and drizzle it on the corners. And I'm just gonna take my finger and just cover that whole edge. We can add more if we need to. Because I am now going to micromanage the top, all right? Because I want to make sure all these top pieces are covered with resin and that the canvas is covered with resin as well. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these off. Boom. I'm going to take these off. I'm going to go ahead and cover those because they're laying flat. So I want to cover those two flat pieces. And I want to cover that blank area of canvas where where the ones I took off are gonna sit. All right, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna mush it all in. Mush it all in. Now I'm gonna take this piece that I took off. Let's start with this one. I'm gonna take this piece. I'm gonna get some of that resin. I'm going to cover that glass inside and out. I'm going to place it back down. All right. Let's do it like that. Yeah. All right, so we're going to do the same to this piece. Just grab a little resin. I made way too much, y'all. I can tell right now. All right, so we'll turn that one in. All right, so we'll do this one. So now there is resin on the canvas where the glass greens are sitting. There is resin on the glass, which also helps with soften the edges a little, even though I did hone them, and it helps the glass secure to the canvas as well. So let's take off this little piece. Let's get this a little closer to me. I'm making a mess, and that's okay. This is gonna be a messy one. I'm gonna add some resin to my canvas. And then I'm gonna add some to my glass. This is just the way I found it easiest to do, because a lot of times if you just try drizzling the resin over the top of all this, you end up with too much in the center, or you have skips and hit or misses with the glass, especially where you want it to stick down to your canvas. All right, so this is just how I figured to be the best. You do whatever works for you. All right, so we're gonna add some resin. We'll just spread it around. I like it all to be nice and covered. Then we're gonna I'm just gonna drizzle it like this. Just a little bit less messy. Cover that, get it all covered. We're gonna bring that back in. We'll do this one too. We'll do the same way. I'm just gonna drizzle it right in to the glass. And then just spread it with your fingers. A little messy, but it's worth it. We'll add that in. Oh, I think I did that one backwards. Yes. There we go. Now I'm gonna take this off and this off and this off. All right, so we're gonna finish the rest. Just spread it out so it's all over the flat surface of your canvas. Then I'm gonna take a little resin here, spread it out. I'm gonna have to do a serious cleaning session on this table when we're done. I'll stick that back in. We'll do this one. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. And then I'll tell you exactly how too much resin we had. What I would do, Barbara, is if you want to just use orange and yellow glass, just spray some glass in and spray some orange and spray some yellow, and then kind of mix it up. That way, like maybe have the orange, the darker orange color on the outside and then the yellow on the inside. So just so you have all those colors. All right, that looks good. Let me go around my edge. We have so much resin left. I literally only used 2 ounces. So we mixed 3. I still have a little over 1 ounce left. All right, I gotta do something real quick, y'all, because I can't stand it. I can't stand that. Hang on, I'm gonna take these gloves off. And I'm gonna grab a paper towel and I'm gonna clean up some of this mess where the drippies are so I don't get this in my hair or on my clothes. Then I'm gonna put some more gloves back on so I can mess with it a little. Whew, stresses me out. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, I've been doing this a long time, Dodie. And it's what I do all day, too. It's literally what I do all day. All right, let's scoot this back. Want to make sure everything's covered because we have plenty of resin. It literally took 2 ounces. I am going to just drizzle a little more, like right on the top edges of these little cut pieces. You know what? We should add bubbles. Who thinks we should add bubbles? I'm just trying to get rid of resin because I'm not making another alt piece. And I hate resin to go to waste. All right. Now, let's grab some bubbles. I'm just gonna throw some in my hand. It does make it extra shiny. Let's see. I'm just gonna throw some in my hand and we'll add them wherever we feel like it, right? We're just gonna let them go. My hands have resin on them, so it's really hard to get them out of my glove. All right, I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna take my little bead tool. I'm gonna flip some of these because most of them went face down, and then I can move them around a little bit as well. I don't like to manipulate where they land, but sometimes you just gotta. Flip. Seems like every single one of them landed face down. We'll just scoot you down at the bottom where you pretty much just belong. I should have used the heat gun first, but it'll be okay. Since I'm having to flip most of them, they should all have a little resin on them anyway. So, however many you want, I think I'm gonna grab a few more. Just a couple. I'm gonna try to not touch them. They do not want to come out of this bag. All right, not fighting you. I'm not fighting you. Not fighting. So let's hit this with our heat gun to pop our bubbles and call it done. So stinking cute. All right, let's grab that heat gun. The heat helps pop any bubbles that we created, mixing our resin. And you want to keep that heat moving. You don't want to like stop and hone in on one place. You're going to keep it moving, and keep it 6 or 8 inches away from your art piece so you don't scald your resin. Keep it moving, keep it moving, right? Okay, now let's look at this close up and personal. I got a little skippy, where'd it go? Right there, and right there. I'm trying to look, make sure I don't have any boo-boos. Look at this, y'all. Holy moly, I feel like I need another piece of green glass right there. Let me see if I have a small piece, because I won't be able to stand it. I think I do. Hang on, let me hold it. Just a little baby piece. I'm just gonna add a little piece right there because I just feel like it needs one more little piece because I can't leave well enough alone. And I want it to kind of stand up. So I'm gonna tuck it in right there on its side a little. Hang on, there we go. And have it standing up a little. All right, I think I can leave that alone now. Let me grab, I need to scooch that little piece of glass over. All right, that might work. I might be happy with that. All right, let's look at this close up. This is so gorgeous. So this is the top, and this is just floral vase glass from the florist. Just bust that sucker up and nip it into shapes. I didn't even try to manipulate the shape. Whatever shape it broke into, I used. And then I spray painted Starfire with the canary yellow. And that's how I got my yellow glass. But you could totally, if you're painting your, what's that, a little bug? If you're painting your pineapple anyway, it's not even necessary to do the yellow on the glass. You just really could use the clear and it's gonna reflect your yellow paint underneath. So there we have it. That was so fun, y'all.
Okay, so today we are going to be painting this really cool sunflower wine bottle. And I think this could be so, so cute for spring, summer, even into fall. So what I'm going to do first, and again, it does not have to be these colors, but I'm going to be using saffron yellow and spiced pumpkin. And I just want to grab my palette and actually grab both of these and start filling these in. And then I'm just kind of going to go back and forth between the saffron and the spiced pumpkin. And so it has a little bit of variety. So if I start to see it mix too much like just a new orange, then I might go straight to the saffron because I wanted to just have some variety in there. All right, so basically I'm going to fill in all of these and then we'll fill in these as well. All right, so now that we have that on there, let's let it dry. We're gonna go ahead and fill these in. Oh, actually right here too, go ahead and fill this in because it's kind of like flowers are behind it. And it's not a big deal because we'll add some details. So go ahead and fill that part in too. Okay, so let's rinse our brush. All right. And then I highly recommend you have some great music on while you're learning, while you're painting with me. Have some, you know, really cool music. Have a great cup of coffee. Art is so healing, and I think it's so fun to kind of set the environment. Okay, so I'm going to use, I believe it's burnt sienna, but let me make sure I'm telling you right. Yep, burnt sienna. So I'm going to take burnt sienna and just fill this in right here. And again, this is just, you know, it's not a perfect way to fill it in. We're just kind of filling it in like an eye. We're going to go over some of this with the darker brown. But we just want that filled in there. And then we'll go ahead and fill this one in here. I'm using the same big brush. Nothing serious. Okay? All right, so now what we'll do is rinse our brush again. If you don't have a lot of paint on your brush, you don't have to rinse it. This is a raw umber. Raw umber, I forgot to get that on my palette. You know, that is not the right color. I don't like that. Okay, it's not raw umber. X. It's burnt umber. I got the wrong one. It's burnt umber. Yeah, I was thinking that color is too greenish brown. I don't like that. I like more of a warmish brown whenever I'm painting a sunflower. Okay, so I'm going to take my brush, grab that color, and this one's going to go kind of right on top of that. We're going to leave it almost like an eye. So what we're going to go to next is the wine bottle. So I want you to use a dark green. Now I'm using Hauser dark green to start with, and I'm just going to grab it, start at the top, and fill this in. Now the cool part about this green bottle is you can have so much fun making different variations. So I can add a little black into my brush, and while that green, see how it kind of blends it? So it's my big brush still. I have not changed. I'm using the dark green or whatever green you got with a little bit of black. Kind of shimmy it in there. And then blend it together, and it makes this really pretty dark green. Now, we'll put a little bit over on this side too, the black with the green. But we don't want the whole bottle to be black and green. So we're just going to kind of follow along that line. Okay, and now we'll take a little bit more with the black and green, kind of go into here. And we'll stop at this right here. We're going to go over a lot of this bottle with, as you can see, with different, the lighter. So I'm just going to kind of fill this in with that dark green. Now that I've got my black on there, I'll just kind of fill the rest of the bottle in with my dark green. Okay, we're gonna let this dry. I'm gonna rinse my brush, and I'm gonna use a color called yellow green and that lush green. I'm actually gonna be kind of doing a few different greens. So you can use, for simplicity's sake, you can use yellow green, the dark green that we just used on the wine bottle, and also the lush green, okay? My yellow green is almost out. So I put some water in this one. You can probably hear it, but I'm trying to be careful so I don't have it everywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna use the same brush for now. I'm gonna switch in a second, I promise. But right now I'm gonna use the same brush, and I'm gonna use this kind of lush green first. Now, basically the goal of this is to just keep it harmonious, where the whole painting kind of has this harmonious flow. And about right here, I'm just gonna kind of line that to where I know to stop, because that's gonna go to yellow in that area. So let's go ahead and take that lush green and just get it filled in. And again, you want this to be loose, to be kind of blotchy, to be a little, you know, messy. Like, it does not need to be this perfection, smooth dot. Like how we smooth that, this does not need to be smooth. This can be blotchy, all of that. See how I'm kind of just getting in there? So we're going to go over it with some of that dark green in a minute. So let's go ahead and fill this in all the way. Okay, so this right here, this is the medium brush. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my yellow green, and this is where I'll start kind of adding in some blobs, okay? So this is just to give variation. It's nothing more than just some variation, okay? Now, when you're painting this, it's okay if it's still wet. You can go right on top of it while it's still wet. We're just kind of going into where the petals are, okay? Right into where the petals are. So just grab your yellow green, add it in to all of the areas where the petals are. And then you can kind of go around too, even on the edge of the wine bottle, just so it kind of pops a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna go to the darker green, and this part very loose. It's almost like I'm doing X's, okay? Very loose. And again, this is the whole point of doing that green, that lush green on the bottom, was to make sure we, you know, have this kind of feel of these colors. So kind of go in, and this part's really therapeutic, believe it or not, because you're just kind of dazed out, just painting, your music's on, maybe you have a really good movie playing, maybe you have some great music or even a really great podcast playing, and then you're just enjoying it. Okay, see how messy that is? Totally fine. All right, go ahead and rinse your brush. Now we're gonna get some white paint out. We're gonna use the same brush. We're gonna get some white paint, and we're gonna fill it in with this yellow and white, mostly white. And we're kind of just filling in this light yellow here. Okay, so we're just filling in this bottom part with a light yellow. Okay, and then I'm going to fill in this top part with a light yellow too. We will go over this in just a second, but we just want a base. Sometimes with painting, you just need a layer below it so that, you know, it's not just a white canvas. Okay, now that we have the base, what I want you to do is go in with a little bit of that orangish yellow that we used for this. And we're just going to kind of do that same technique that we did in here. So we're just taking that orangish yellow, blah, 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 blah. Very, very technical. Blah, 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 blah. It really makes it easier when you say blob. Okay, same thing up here. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, now that we have that, we're going to rinse our brush a little bit. And then we're going to go to that white, yellow color, but mostly white. And now we're going to kind of blob here, but kind of make it go into the green. Just be careful if your green's still really wet. Don't pull too much green into it. Okay, I'm going to rinse again because I got a little bit of green. And I'm going to take that same kind of white yellow color and do the same thing up here. So you want it still to show what you did. Don't cover everything. But it's got to have kind of a flow to it. Okay, all right, so we're good there. Let's go ahead and rinse our brush. Now, while we have this brush going and we have our white out here, we're just gonna make it a little bit of a light orangey, yellow, whatever. This part you can kind of have fun with the different colors and just bring them into it. So what I like to do is just kind of paint into the petals a little bit. And this is where I highly recommend maybe getting a little bit more yellow and making it like a light yellow. So we'll mix it and just having fun with your petals. So this is where everyone can kind of have a little bit of a different shade of their sunflower, okay? Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing to these petals. And then once I have these filled, what I like to do is just get pure white and start adding some pure white lines, like really bright white lines on these petals. Okay, so I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm going to get pure white. And this is where I just take that same size brush and I just start adding in some big chunks of white. Almost like one on each side. Oops, I missed a leaf or petal. It's not like you're not really outlining it, you're just kind of adding some lines. It's the difference between trying to outline a petal versus just adding a few highlight lines. It's very loose, very free, very easy. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and rinse our brush. Now, we're going to use the same brush, surprise. Go ahead and grab pure black. We're going to make almost like a little half C and an I. And then let's go ahead and fill this part in. Now, the fun part about filling this in is you kind of like can blob it, so it doesn't need to be a perfect line. So it's not like you're painting it like this, you're painting it more like this, right? So it has some texture, has some movement. It's kind of, you know, more, I don't know, organic? I don't know if that's the right word. Okay? And then do the same thing up here. All right. And then while we have the black out, let's go ahead and and I like to recommend doing the smaller brush just because, you know, some people get a little carried away if they're not really good with a brush yet. So take your smaller liner brush, and this is where you're just going to very, very lightly kind of outline. And it's not, again, it's not a perfect outline. It's just kind of to help it pop. See how like from here to when it's kind of outlined, it starts to pop. So, and it's not perfect. You can tell it's not even all the way on my lines. I just want you to just loosely. And if you have, you know, if this part's really hard for you, you can let it dry and then use a Sharpie later. That's totally fine too. Again, try to do it more loose, not perfection. We're not looking for perfection. Okay, I'm gonna rinse that brush. Now I'm gonna go back to, you guessed it, my middle brush. Okay, so I'm gonna use white with our, I think it was burnt sienna. Yeah, burnt sienna, and make it a really light color. And then I'm just gonna fill all of this in for the tag. Now I have all kinds of black in my brush still, but I don't even care. It's okay. So white with burnt sienna, and fill that in. And we're just making a label. Now this is where you could, if you wanted to, you could like write something on there. You could put maybe your favorite wine. I chose to just leave it blank, more abstract. However, it would be kind of cool if you have like a favorite wine, you could add it on there. Okay, so when you paint this one on, you do really want to kind of make it almost like a smiley face. So you're getting it covered on there, but then once it's covered, let me get a little bit more paint. Once it's covered, we're going to add some details, but they're going to almost go like a very, very, very soft smile. Okay. So for example, I'm going to go to the burnt sienna, a little bit of the burnt sienna, and just kind of see how I'm just bringing it down like this. But then I'm going to bring it over where it has kind of that soft smile. Go to the burnt sienna over here. It's almost like little soft smiles. Soft smile, soft smile. I'm going to use a little bit of orange with the burnt sienna. So it kind of, again, anytime you can bring colors from part of the painting to the other is always a good thing. Now that we have that, we're going to take just a little bit, just pick a green, it doesn't matter, and just put a little green on here. Literally just that much, that's it. Okay. Again, the whole purposes of that is just to kind of bring in the colors to each section. So we have a little bit of green. Now we're going to go to that pure white. And this is where you can add in Okay, so we have this going on. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of that yellow green, and this part's really fun. So we're kind of like pretending, you know, this is our bottle. We're kind of just flowing with it. So it's kind of like the lines here. Just kind of blob it on. And then over here, we're gonna bring in some of that yellow green. We're leaving the side. See how I've left about an inch of that side really dark? Let me see if I can get some of this without, yeah, it's really watery. Let's see if it'll work. Oh, good. Actually works better. Sometimes mistakes turn into greatness. Okay, another little smiley face here. And then we're bringing that bottle up. And remember, if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. You can let it dry and paint a little bit over it. But don't be too hard on yourself, because this is one of those things, like, I'm looking at it close up right now and it feels weird. However, once I'm done with all my lines, then it'll feel right. All right, we're just gonna do a little bit. Remember that orange thing happening here? We added a little green. We're gonna add just a smidge of orange in here as well. Not a lot, just there and there, pretty much done. Okay, rinse the brush. Now what we're gonna do is get some of the white, the pure white, and we're gonna go crazy with it. Okay? So if you're unsure where to put these white strokes, just kind of look at the video or the reference photo that you have and just kind of follow along. Okay, so there's a few in here, and then it kind of follows down this way. They don't have to be exact, like this line does not have to be exact there, but just try to have the lines close in the proximity of where we're adding these. And then it starts to kind of make it, like I was telling you earlier, you know, it's got to get weird first. And then if you're still judging it, which you should not be until the very, very end, and if you're still judging it, wait, because a lot of times when you walk away from a painting and then you come back, it all kind of comes together. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn my brush over, use the back, and then I'm just going to dot a ton of white dots into this first two little realms, and a little bit over, but not a ton. Okay, and then I'm going to go to yellow, and we're going to go yellow into the brown. Okay, same thing over here. I'm just going to do a few white, just barely, because you can barely see that part. And then I'm going to go to yellow. Nothing major, okay? All right, and then the last little thing that we got to add besides glitter, if you want to add glitter, is just take that same brush and you just turn it back over. We're just going to take a little bit of black, almost like the same thing we did with that burnt sienna orange, and then we're just going to add a little bit here and a little bit there. And then if you feel like, oh, it needs a little bit more black in here, you can kind of add that if you want, but I wouldn't stress too much about it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see your paintings. Wow, that was incredible. I want to do this again. Please let me know in the comments if you like this. If you do, we will do this again. I know a lot of art people, like a whole lot, like thousands of art people all over the world. So if you like this, I will start compiling more people like this so that you can get just more access to tons of tutorials. So let me know in the comments if you like this, what was your favorite part? And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. All right, till next time. Bye.